Released on the play by Blewett.
If he has good technique, Dean will be really. If his technique becomes great, not just good, then he's a Hall of Famer.
Fighting through contact, fighting through offensive line, being a double team, multiple moves stacked into one, just a play of pure domination. It's actual film, it's actual football talk. It's a football show, so doing football, not storylines.
And you are watching / listening to another edition of Blewett's Blitz, solo edition. Hopefully you guys know by now that every other Wednesday it's the solo show, and every other Thursday the week after is with Kyle Smith and I. A couple of housekeeping things. One, Marcus Coleman will be here, not next week. That's the Thursday. The next Wednesday show he'll be here. I think he said 8 to 9 or 7 to 8. But I want you guys to hammer him with questions about the Jets. Do not let up. Do not pull punches. He does not pull punches, so if he doesn't know something, that's on him. He was thinking about doing it this week, but he was like, you know what? Maybe I should just study up a little bit on what the Jets did. We'll talk some draft with him. We'll talk some Jets offseason moves. Again, feel free to ask him absolutely anything. Good friend of mine now at this point. So do that. JoeRB31 on Twitter, posting a ton of reviews. The reviews that I've posted so far: Hamilton, Thibodeau, Ekwonu, Neal, Karlaftis, Sauce Gardner, Jermaine Johnson, Linderbaum, Burks, London. Garrett Wilson should be coming out probably tomorrow. And then we have Stingley, McDuffie, Dean, Lloyd, Walker, Green, Hutchinson, and Elijah Moore in the docket for after the draft. Elijah Moore, I did probably in January, so it's gonna be some stuff that's gonna be out of date in terms of context, because you're gonna be like, oh, we signed that free agent, oh, we drafted that guy. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I signed him in June. Get to the chat real quick too. Oh, the only other thing is the draft night. Again, I'm gonna be on early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, the absolute latest. Right after the draft, I'll be on. Kyle Smith will probably jump on with me day 2 and day 3. I am streaming. So that will be fun to get the reactions right off the jump. Literally just going to be watching my downstairs and basically drinking beers with you guys and stuff. Maybe we'll allow some call-ins and you guys to talk some shit too. And chop it up about the Jets picks. So let's see who's in here. Steven Angle. Still haven't asked George about you, Steven. I will. I should see him soon. So I'm going to ask him what he thinks about you, and it's going to really form my opinion because I've never met you in real life. What's up, Mike? Mike always leaving the really long comments on the videos, and I'll read it, and I'll hit read more, and then it's like a paragraph like this big, and I'm like, damn, like I barely have time to do stuff now, so I'm like, I have to respond that whole thing. But Mike, I'm going to respond to that later. Maybe I'll bring it up. Nick, Sneakers and Boots, what's up? Sarah, Sora Skyline asked, oh, sorry. I thought I could highlight it for a second. What would be the end result of a trade down from 4, assuming edge you like is there to make it worth it to you? What about from 10? Who is a guy you'd like to trade up for in this draft? Yeah, and I kind of labeled this, and to be completely honest, you guys are completely running this thing. I'm answering all your questions and stuff and talking to you guys because what is new to talk about, at this point. So however long you guys want to talk, if you guys want to do, I'm either going to do call-ins later or I'm going to do a mock draft. I don't know if you guys are sick of those. I haven't really done a ton of them. But I'm going to do one with Kyle next week. I'm probably going to do one on the day before the draft. And then the one with Kyle next week is going to be all Kyle. This one, if I do it tonight, you guys can decide whether it's me thinking what the Jets are going to do / what I think the Jets are going to do or what I would do, or it's going to be completely on you guys. I'm going to give you guys votes, and you guys are going to vote, and you guys are going to do the mock draft. I'm just going to talk through it, and you guys do it. So whatever you guys want to do. If you guys want to do call-ins or mock drafts later, I'll do that. But Skyline, assuming an edge I like is there, it's going to be really hard for me to trade back. And one of the edges who I think was going to be there, who would make it not a realistic possibility of me trading back, is again one of Hutchinson or Thibodeau, depending on how they feel about him. That's always the preface with saying that the Jets might not like him. We can't just assume. But one of those two guys I really want, Walker, Karlaftis, Johnson, all those guys, I would be okay with the trade down, depending to what spot. Maybe the Panthers trade up a couple spots for Willis, or maybe it's, even the Steelers from 20 is probably too low. But with an edge rusher there that I like, again, Hutchinson or Thibodeau, it costs a lot. 10, It all depends on what happens at 4. If it's not an edge rusher at 4, and then a Karlaftis sitting there at 10, again, it's going to take a lot for me. If they get the edge rusher at 4, I think a trade down from 10 would be fantastic, because obviously, depending on how late it is, there's plenty of receivers that I would like in the mid-teens, late teens, early 20s who I feel are actually worth it at that spot. So if you can trade down a couple spots, get an extra second, third, whatever it may be, I would love that. And then you talk about trading up, which is kind of the theme of this, which again, I just made a random theme. The things I'm trading up for, one, let's say at 1, it does happen where Walker, there's some rumors that Walker would go 1 to the Jaguars because they like his length and RAS and all that stuff. Okay, Walker goes 1. Let's say the Lions at 2 take Willis, or they take, Neal or Aquanu. At 3, if Hutchinson's at 3 to me, I'm trading up. That's how I personally feel. I even minus all the off-field bullshit, however you feel about it with Thibodeau, Hutchinson is here, just his tape, and Thibodeau is here. There's a relatively large gap for me. So if they could trade a second-round pick to secure Hutchinson, I know a lot of people don't love that because everybody loves their draft picks and hoards their draft picks, but there's 2 guys in this draft who I feel are true blue chippers. One is Hutchinson at a massive position of need, and one is Sauce Gardner. So if you could trade up 1 pick to get Hutchinson, and he's a guy who might have a lower ceiling because of his bend and stuff, but there's been plenty of guys, and I like Daniel Jeremiah's comparison to him, like Jared Allen. Jared Allen wasn't the most athletic, freaky guy with the Vikings, and he's one of the all-time sack leaders. Like, you don't have to be a super athlete to get sacks if you're technically clean. So if they could trade up 1 spot to get him, I would be more than willing to do it because again, what's the hit rate on second round picks? If you can get that legit guy there, I am doing it. And then the only other position I think I would trade up for, obviously depending on like little shit later in the draft, but I would say if the Jets, let's just say probably my best case scenario, obviously minus Hutchinson, I think that's a little bit of a pipe dream at this point. Sauce at 4, Karlaftis at 10. And then the Jets can trade up their 2 second-round picks or a second and a third or whatever it may be. But if let's just say the 2 second-round picks, I'm not going to go to the trade value chart. We can do that later. I think 35 and 38 would be like 15 or 14 in the draft or something like that. If they could trade those both up and they grab London, I'm cool with it. Again, people are attached to those draft picks, but if you can come away with 3 top 15 or 3 top 15 players on your board, I'll be more than willing. And I get like, just wait to the second round. But what if those guys aren't there, especially with the Pats after the Jets and the Saints having 2 picks? They don't have a ton of receivers. The Chiefs being there with 2 first-round pick. I think I don't know if I said the Packers already. The Packers, like, there's so many teams who need quarterbacks after receivers after the Jets. I'm not going to risk. Let's just hope Olave falls. Let's just hope Dotson falls. And obviously the Jets aren't going to like everybody. Like, we all think that they like 7-8 guys. What if Pickens isn't on their board until 50? What if Watson's on their board until 50? And there's only 6 out of the 8 guys, or 6 out of the 8 or 9, whatever, if we actually go through the names. Are you waiting there? And then if all those guys go, then what are you doing at 35 or 38 if the Jets don't like those guys? I'm not waiting for a receiver if they don't grab one at 4 or 10. So that's another position I would trade up in. Let's go to the chat. What's up? Loftus. All right. Alexander from Austria. What's up? I'm manifesting that Thibodeau falls to 4. Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of Thibodeau, Walker, or Sauce, and I prefer Thibodeau or Walker or Sauce. Walker thing, we discussed it before. Thomas Cahill, what's up? JJ all the way. I'm not with you there. I think you guys know that at that point. Alexander. Okay, let's see. Let GD work his magic and make Hutch fall to 4 and Gardner fall to 10. That would be. I am live streaming me running on the street. All natural. If that happens. That is, especially if I'm drinking. Wear a mask and we see my face. Jump some fences to get in my backyard. Nobody knows the house I went into. I can't get fired. I have ways to get away with things. I've dealt with stuff before. So, beloved piece. Well, looking forward to the Walker review. I'm intrigued by him. Yeah, it'll be coming out. We're gonna have a full court press in terms of getting these reviews out. I have 8 reviews to get out in 15 days, right? Ish. So, they will all be out very, very shortly. Oh yeah, the other thing I didn't talk about. I did an interview with Tyson Roush from Let's Talk Jets. Make sure to go check that out. This a couple days ago. Subscribe to them. Watch that interview, 50-ish minutes. A good conversation. Looking forward to linking up with them after the draft as well. Rob B, Blewett the Goat, please appreciate that. Joe, thoughts on double dipping at wide receiver in the second and later rounds if you don't pick up a veteran wide receiver? Yuck. Yeah, I would prefer to pick up the veteran wide receiver. To me, yeah, it's not for me. It's not okay. Grab a receiver at 10 and grab one at 35. That's a little bit too much capital for me. But let's say, okay, it is London at 10. Let's just throw out a name. London at 10. If you have a guy like Kyle Phillips or Yuzukama, whatever the hell his name is that Rusty loves, I have to watch him before I know if I love him. Let's just say those names are there at 111, or they really like a guy like Bo Melton's speed at 146. I'm willing to do it for a later round guy. But 2 receiver picks in the top 3 rounds couldn't do it. I think at 111 it starts to become a conversation double dipping, but I don't want to do 2 in the top 3 rounds. What's up, Shadow? What's up, NY Jets, Mets, Knicks survivor. Yeah, it's rough. Even though the Mets just won 2 in a row, even though the bullpen gives you heart attacks, and Pete Alonso single-handedly pretty much won that game against the Phillies, even though he lost the first game of the series because of multiple errors, letting up 3 runs in the 8th or 9th. I think it was the 8th, right? That was brutal. Nets won too. Nets from the play-in. I know a lot of you guys don't like the Nets, but screw you. Well, sorry about the long comment show. I give you credit for attempting to read them. I read them. I'm just like, damn, my response is going to be long. So it just, it is what it is. But I agree with your last comment with a lot of it. I'll go back and read it maybe now or maybe in a little bit. Joe Pekulik, Joe B, what's up? Thomas Cahill, Joe talked me some Olave. To be honest, I watched him, but it was more in passing when I was watching Garrett Wilson. I wasn't overly impressed. I think he's a late first-round guy. I think in a really good receiver draft, he's probably a second-round guy. I think he's being a little bit overhyped right now. And I also don't necessarily think he's the best fit in the Jets offense in terms of him being an intermediate to vertical guy, not a great yak guy, not a great blocker, is relatively thin. The Jets want guys who can get open quick, who can get yak, who can block. So I don't think he's the best fit for the Jets offense, to be honest. I don't think he's an option. At 10, maybe in a trade down, maybe in a trade up if they love him. Okay, cool. He's a slot only guy for me initially, vertical threat. Guy who struggles off getting off again, press, yak. It's not there for me. Socrates, what's up, man? Assassin, Cartman, trading up is not ideal. 3 first rounders in this draft isn't good. That's why Philly traded out. Yeah, no, I don't. I would prefer to have that pick at 35 and 38. But again, I'm not waiting for a receiver to get there. I'm not waiting for the 6th or 7th receiver when Zach Wilson needs that guy. Again, in terms of it being like an overrated need, I can understand people's mindsets with that. But the thing is, again, 1 injury and you're relying on Jeff Smith, a rookie, Tyreek Black coming in for a decent amount of reps. Like what if they want to run empty? And there's 5 receivers. What if they want to run even just 10 and there's 4 receivers and Corey Davis goes down? Now your 4 receivers are Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios, who shouldn't be starting, who's a decent backup, a rookie receiver. You have no idea his development path, and Jeff Smith. Like that's what we want. I can't do it. So I'm trading up for a guy who they like if that's the case. Socrates, what's up? My friend just texted me, yo, it's okay. Did something happen with the Jets? Please tell me something happened with the Jets or the Nets, because my friend texted me that means something. Oh, maybe that's never mind. He might be talking about the Mets game. Okay, sorry. When people text me like, oh, chill, like whatever. Okay, never mind. False alarm. I remember that to be a Mets text. I thought like Debo got traded somewhere else or something. They're freaked the fuck out. Alex Pierce from Chris is probably the most underrated receiver in this draft. Alex Pierce is the guy with the really high RAS that came to the Senior Bowl and did pretty much nothing, right? So I think he's more of a developmental guy. Peter, what about James Cook as a receiver running back like Debo? I don't think comparing anybody to Debo is necessarily starting them off on fair ground. And James Cook is, from what I've heard from people I trust, is more of an outside runner, receiving back, but not necessarily the best running back between the tackles, struggles with vision and things like that. So I think he's a decent late round option, but I'm not overly hyped on him. And again, Debo is pretty much 1 out of 1, It's like him and Cordell Patterson is like a Debo light in the league, but there's not a lot of guys like that. So, no. Bert Tibbs, what if Hutch, Kayvon, and Sauce go 1, 2, 3, beg anyone to trade down? Yeah, that is literally my very, very worst case scenario, which I'm praying to fucking God does not happen. Praying to God. In that scenario, you beg anyone to trade down, but realistically, or not realistically, we can't just assume a trade down. So let's say they can't. At that point, me personally, I wouldn't necessarily want to do it, but I think the Jets would go Walker. I'm not saying it should happen, but that's probably what they do. Walker and Karlaftis are my 3A, 3B, so I'll get it. But that is an absolute nightmare scenario for me. I don't think you go Aquano. I can't see it. I get the need for tackle depth and things like that, but I think you get tackle depth at 69, 111, 117, 118, whatever the hell it is. Because I get it, but what if Fant works out, or what if Fant is working out? Let's just say they sign Fant. Okay, they sign Fant, great. 30 years old, plenty of miles on the tires left, and Becton works out. Now what is Aquano doing? Just sit on the bench as a 4th overall pick? I can't do it. Get depth in free agency, get depth in the 3rd round, address it if you need to, but we can't just assume failure. Not in the top 5. No way. Uzama and Conklin are good, but I still want developmental tight end in the 4th or 5th rounds. Also, big bruising running. Yeah, MB. Those are more like secondary needs to me, but I agree with you. I don't like the Jets. Who's the Jets' 3rd tight end right now? I'm not. Wesco, Yaboa. That's what we want as our 3rd. So yeah, if there's a guy like, let's say we get lucky and it's a Ruckert at 111, or Jelani Woods, a physical freak, or Charlie Kolar sitting there late, I would be willing to do it. And same thing with the big bruising running back, White, Zamir White, right? You have what's the name from Cincinnati? I forgot, for some reason I remember. Tell me his name. Kid from Cincinnati. Didn't bother the hell. I'm forgetting it. Son of a bitch. Whatever his name is. You have guys like Brian Robinson. So there's some good running backs in there. Jerome Ford. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Thank you, Curly. Thank you. Yeah, Jerome Ford is another guy who's like a big bruising guy, or a more compact but bruising guy. I'm cool with that. So let's keep moving on. Shadow. Chris Sims says Nick Benito as a top 5 edge. Do you take a look at him? Or did you take it? No, I haven't. 7th best D end. That's a little bit ridiculous. I don't know how much I trust him past his quarterback rankings, so I don't really care. I saw the receiver stuff too. I'm not down with it. So Rob D, generally curious about your thoughts on Jameson Williams. No real receiver seems worthy of the 10th pick. If it wasn't for Zach, agreed. He seems to get jammed at the line and out-muscled from my initial look. Yeah, well, I think Williams is, because Jets fans want that next big receiver. They want that Jamar Chase. They want that Waddle. They want that CeeDee Lamb, or might be overrating him a little bit. I like him, and I think he'd be easily the first receiver in this class, but I don't think he's up to par with some of those guys I just mentioned. With that being said, I would be willing to take him at 10 if they are comfortable with his medicals. But in terms of body catching, in terms of getting in and out of his breaks, I think he's a deep threat. But in terms of running a dig or running a curl, he is really an overstrider and struggles to get in and out of breaks sometimes. So I like him a lot. But I don't think he's some slam dunk, But again, if you guys are comfortable with him at 10, I would be willing to do that. I think him and London are the only guys I'd be willing to take at 10. Other than that, if they take one at 10, I think it's a massive reach and it's not worth it. And I think London is a reach there as well. If you just go by my board, my chart, whatever, probably a reach with who's sitting there. But because of Zach Wilson, might force their hand a little bit. And then obviously Williams, healthy, easy pick at 10. I don't think it's a reach at all. But with that being said, the injury, which obviously ACLs and all this stuff has been diminished in terms of the severity of those injuries in recent years. So, is this the first time that a Kuiper mock sounds good? I don't know what his mock is. So Yoshi made it live for once. What's up, man? Dark horse to trade up. Minnesota supposedly is in love with Sauce. We need to get him ahead of the Giants, or we need to get ahead of the Giants to get him. Could be a nice mix of current and future capital if our edge is gone. Yeah, I don't see for me. I would be okay with it. A trade down to Minnesota, what are they, 11th or 12th? You get a couple of extra second round picks at that point, maybe 2 seconds. I don't know what they have exactly, but I'll be willing to do it because while I love Sauce, I think he's one of the true blue chip players in this draft, and that's why I'm willing to take him at 4. Obviously, depending on how the board falls. if you can get extra capital to move down, I'm okay with it because of Bryce Hall. I think Bryce Hall is an okay starter. So I'd be willing to take Sauce for that reason. But if you can get a massive trade package for him, because it's not necessarily truly a position of need, it's just a position you can upgrade with a superstar, not superstar, but a blue chip player, then I would get it. So, Verge Tibbs wouldn't want to trade both seconds, maybe one of them in a different pick. Still need a linebacker, interior defensive lineman, free safety, running back you need as well. To that list. I'm not comfortable with Coleman as my 2. I like him as a 3, so I would like a running back in there as well. Let's see. Crazy time. Would you trade 10, 35, and 38 and a 2022 first for Hutch and Sauce? Make however many trades you want? No, that's too much because what do we talk? Yeah, because you can get Sauce. You can get Sauce at hopefully at 4, and then you're trading 10, 2 second-round picks and another first for. Yeah, that's just too much. If they were closer and they had a year where they were a playoff contender and Zach Wilson went down, and that's why they're there and they don't have a lot of holes to fill. Yeah, sure, but that's too much capital for me. What's up, Curly Norman? I'd much rather take JJ over Walker. It's between the 2. Yeah, I'm not there with JJ. I think he was a guy who was, again, early 20s, late teens guy. And he's getting overhyped because of the Senior Bowl and interviews. I'm just not there with his actual tape. Sigs inside? Is it like Sigs the Gun Sigs or some other? Is your nickname just Sigs? What's your top 4? Hutch, Sauce, Walker, Thib? Yeah. Well, no, I have Aquanu above both Walker and Thibodeau, but considering positions of need for the Jets, it would probably be Hutch, Sauce. Or no, this is again considering this is assuming the Jets like Thibodeau. It's Hutch, Thibodeau, because again, bigger position of need, Sauce, and then it's 4 is hard there, man. It's Walker or Karlaftis. I don't love that at all though. I'm really hoping to get away with one of Hutch, Sauce, or Thibodeau. That's absolute worst case scenario. If that happens, I'm gonna be really pissed. So. Nick's Integra, what's good? Every hour that passes seems like a rookie receiver is going to be in play. Yeah, I if I had to bet my money on it right now, it's probably Thibodeau at 4 and Jameson Williams or London at 10. I could see what is it called being an option there, Garrett Wilson, but that's not for me. That's not personally. Okay, moving on. MB99 Walker at 4 if Hutch Sauce KT, then Dean at 10, hit a receiver in the 2nd and again in the 4th. Yeah, so I could get Dean at 10, but for me, for the need or because of Zach Wilson, I rather take Williams or London there over Dean. Even though Dean in a vacuum, I like him more as a player. I just couldn't do it over one of the receivers and then risking guys going, the next couple of picks. So I love Dean, but they need a receiver more than Dean at this point. Hey Joe, thoughts on trading for Deontay Johnson? 4 for Johnson, 20 their 3rd and their 1st next year. Thoughts? Jesus, you guys have this crazy trade scenarios. I love Deontay Johnson. I think he's a really, really productive receiver. A legit number 1. I don't think he's being taken advantage of with Ben Roethlisberger's noodle arm the last couple of years. So I think he's that legit number 1. So you're basically, what's the 20, their 3rd? So you'd have 10, 20, a 1st next year, Deontay Johnson. I would probably do it, to be completely honest. People might think I'm crazy for that. But if you're willing to trade 10 for Metcalf or for Hill or for whatever, again, I'm not putting words in your guys' mouths. I'm personally willing to trade 10 for those guys. So what's the difference in value? You guys can tell me because I don't feel like looking it up. But what's the difference in value between 4 and 10? Is it 20, a 3rd, and a 1st next year? Yeah, that's going to make up that difference. So I would be willing to do that. Personally, off the top of my head, I'd like to look at the chart. I know it's a lot. But at that point, you have your receiver, and then you're hoping that one of Karlaftis, Walker, JJ fall to 10. Personally, again, I'm not really with JJ at 10, but I would understand the pick. So I would do it. Yeah, you have Deontay Johnson, 10, 20, a 1st next year, and a 3rd. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Yeah, evil Skittles. I agree with you. Yeah, Hero Olave isn't good at fighting through contact either. Not a good at yak guy. Yeah, so he's not necessarily the best fit, but Devil's Lettuce. Yeah, that's a little crazy for me. Devil's Lettuce. A little crazy. Again, and the thing is, like, you can't just assume people know what they're talking about because they played or they have brothers or whatever. He didn't even play. Chris, yeah, he played in the NFL, right? I'm blanking out on Chris or what's his brother, Matt? Who's the Sims who played for the Jets? I'm blanking out. Just because you played quarterback doesn't know you know how to evaluate DNs. Just because you played DN doesn't mean you know how to evaluate safety or corner. It's just like it's two completely different positions. You know, and I'm sure Marcus Coleman would tell you that too. Like, you know, I'm sure he's much more comfortable with corners and safeties and receivers than if I brought him on to do an offensive lineman breakdown. It's just, you're not always going to be as efficient. I kind of said this before, Peter. I think 111 is the highest I'm willing to take him. I don't necessarily love the fit though, in terms of him being more like a scat back. I think the Jets need, again, a Jerome Ford, a Brian Robinson, with Samir White. I think I like one of those guys who can run between tackles more than, again, another scat back. I'm not really for it. Just because his name is Cook doesn't mean he's good. So Ben kind of answered this before. I'll be okay with him at 10 if the Jets are okay with him at 10. Like, it's a bailout answer, but what are his medicals? If they're comfortable and they think he could be ready by August, you know, kind of slowly ramp him up a little bit, get him ready for the beginning of the season, play him at low snap count, and then you really implement him week 3, 4, 5, 6, and they think you're getting a legit number one receiver. I'm doing it. He says, or over London later on if they trade back. If you're telling me, depending on the trade back, okay, you have Williams at 10 or London extra picks, a couple of picks later, I'm taking London and the extra picks over Williams. That's me personally. So, okay, moving on. I think Mims plays 100% better this year. I think it'd be worse to play. I think it'd be hard to play worse, to be honest. Like, he had 8 catches in an entire year. So yeah, I think he plays better. But I'm not just going to assume it. Like, I get that we all want to think Mims is going to be better because we're Jets fans, so we're obviously going to be biased towards the Jets. The problem is we thought he was going to be great last year, and look what happened. You know, and don't give me the people get mad about it, but don't give me the oh, he had food poisoning. Oh, you know, he brought extra guys in. At the end of the day, you have to produce. It's the NFL. So don't give me the bullshit excuses. He should have had more than 8 catches or 6 catches last year. Time to step up. Let's see if he steps up. I loved him coming out of college. I loved his rookie year, what he was doing with Flacco when he was in. But last year was miserable. You know, drop passes, lining up wrong, false starts. It wasn't there. Oh, he came in for 1 rep versus the Panthers and he got a 40-yard catch. Look how great that was. It was a blown coverage and Zach Wilson saw him and made an amazing throw and he caught the ball. Like, it wasn't anything Mims did. I'm just being honest with you guys. You know, so he had a big catch. Yeah, sure. On a blown coverage. That's 100% the quarterback and the defense more than him. Yeah, he caught the ball. Sweet. Literally anybody on the team could have caught that ball. I'm just, again, being honest. People think I'm a dick. It's what it is. I'm a dick. When we trade for Debo, AJ, or I'm assuming that's DK, we will be keeping 4 and 10 per Joe Douglas. I guess you heard from him. I would be down with any of those players. I would be ecstatic walking to the draft with any one of those guys, or Deontay Johnson, or Terry McLaurin. You know, Terry McLaurin's a guy who's a little bit overlooked right now too. Terry McLaurin's a savage. Jalen Burks is Debo. Absolutely not. He's not Debo. I wouldn't take him until the second round, and even at 35 or 38, I would be lukewarm on it. That's how I feel about Traylon Burks. Past streams, I showed his plays. I talked about him. Schemed open, a little bit lazy. You can see him give up on routes, and he's not the primary primary part of the concept. Runs out of bounds early, ducks out of blocks. I'm not with it. Thomas Cahill. Joe, it may not be a top need, but I would love Wyatt on our team. Yeah, I think D-tackle is more of a secondary need for this team. Again, people are kind of trying to force feed it a little bit with Jordan Davis, Wyatt. I'm not saying you are Thomas Cahill, but the thing with that is, like, you're investing that high into a guy, and you still have Rankins on $5 million. You still have JFM on the inside, you know, especially if there's an edge rusher brought in. And then you have Quinn Williams on, you know, on the inside too. So how often is he playing? You know, second round pick, 35, 38. I would get if they did it. It's not my primary thing though. Solani is a beast. Yeah. Sam is guaranteed that KT is going late. I hope he's right. Or I hope he's I hope he's going late enough to fall to the Jets at 10. Let's get Sauce Gardner at 4 and KT at 10. That sounds good to me. Kenny Oboe is 10-3. He's a great developmental piece. Why? I'm legitimately asking why. What did he show you? He had a couple of nice catches versus the Bucks, and at Ole Miss, his film, he was ridiculously raw. Alligating arm balls over the middle, not the great blocker, not going to go up and catch balls over the middle, contested catches. He was everything everything he got at Ole Miss was completely wide open in zone coverages, not beating man coverage. Again, just being honest with you guys, why is he a great tight end 3? Because we had him in mock drafts and he was a 4th or 5th round guy and then he fell to UDFA, so now we assume he's great. You know, why? Awesome show, Joe. Keep it up. Can't always be here, but yeah, I appreciate that. Joe, would Elijah Moore be wide receiver 1 in this class? I think he'd probably be wide receiver 2 or 3. I really have to watch Jameson Williams to know. I would say that just based on what I know of these guys, Williams would be 1. I think Elijah Moore and London would fight for 2 for me. And honestly, it would probably really getting down into the nitty gritty without having recency bias, and Moore might be above London. You're crazy. Okay, watch Elijah Moore. You know, go. I'll post that review soon of his rookie year. Go back and watch him at Ole Miss. He was fucking dominating people. I cannot believe he fell to the second round. So I think at the minimum, you know, what the Giants take Tony at 23, 24. He should have been above that. You know, I think in this draft, yeah, he's mid-teens easily. So, I find it funny that Jets are willing to take Jameson coming off an injury, but in the same breath called Becton a bust coming off an injury. Yeah, it's stupid to call Becton a bust at this point. We have to wait and see. It's not the most ideal first 2 years of a career, but it'd be foolish to pass on or get rid of him now. Yeah, Walker's not my ideal thing. Again, walking away with Thibodeau or Sauce is my preferred thing at 4. Even though Thibodeau, there's going to be that slight pit in my stomach. You know, like you just hit a bump. You know, you went over a bump. And it's like, okay, I hope it works out. That's just my personal feeling. You know, I can't say I could say why. It's just a gut thing. I don't necessarily love the guy in terms of personality, but if he goes out there and he's getting 10 sacks, 15, 20 sacks a year, I couldn't give 2 shits less if I like him or not. Let's be honest. It just is what it is. Let's see. You guys are killing the chat. Again, this is all you guys because I have nothing to talk about minus what you guys are bringing up. There's just, at this point, what is there? You know, this is funny. Like you see people like we get like 300, 400 people in here. And then like now people are just so done with all the draft shit. It's like people just don't care, which I get. I get it. Jets today, what's up, man? Go follow him. Good channel. He always has James on breaking down some film and talking some stuff. In a definitely an ascending YouTube channel, so go check him out. A trade up into the late first for receiver Linderbaum, Zion Johnson, or safety Hill are options I can't stop thinking about. Feels like a decent chance of happening. Again, like first round pick for Linderbaum, then you're getting rid of McGovern for Linderbaum, who to me isn't a slam dunk center prospect. I like him, but he's a really specific in terms of only being a zone guy. You ask him to power, you ask him to counter, draws, traps, down blocking on guys, moving guys, driving guys. It's just not going to happen consistently. And then again, so you're getting rid of McGovern, who's an average-ish center for question mark. And then you have a guy who is the brain of the offensive line at center in a really important year for your second round or your second year quarterback. A little bit sketchy. Same thing with Zion Johnson. Like, again, he's a good player, but you're not putting ABT on the bench. You're not putting Tomlinson. I say Tomlinson, ABT on the bench. Hill, I like him in terms of being like a really versatile coverage safety. I think that's a very realistic option at 35 if he falls. I don't think he does, to be honest. I think he's probably an early 20s guy. But I would love Hill. I don't know about Linderbaum and Johnson, though. Even though I like them, position of need. I want BPA at position of need. I don't think they're position of need. Rob V. Sauce at 4, Carl Loftus at 10, Nakobe Dean at 35, trade 38 and 30 and 69 and a third next year for your pick at wide receiver. I'm speaking into existence. You're talking about like trading back into the first for 38, 69 and a third next year for your pick at wide receiver. I'm not going to pull any punches here. I would nut, like that is ideal. Like you're talking about Sauce, who I absolutely love, Carl Loftus, who is my DN 3 or 4. I think he's being way overlooked. Dean, who I gushed over him. Just wait until you watch his. If you guys watch reviews, absolutely love him. And then let's just say for my pick at receiver, you're trading 38, 69 and a third next year. You're probably getting what back up into the early early 20s, I would say, off the top of my head. Again, I don't have that board memorized. And let's say it is London or Williams. Oh my God. Like that is amazing. I would be ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic. Maxwell, please let the Jags take Walker. Yeah, that's what I'm praying for too. Sneakers or boots. Do you think the Falcons will snub us on Williams? If they do, London is going to be right there after. So I'm comfortable with either one of those guys at 10. I wouldn't love it, but it is what it is. But I don't know. It could happen. It really depends on his medicals. I hate just saying that, but how are they? How are those medicals? Evil Skittles, JJ is a strange case for sure. I feel like he was used pass rush move that the Senior Bowl he really never used in college season. I think he has a lot of potential. Yeah, I think he has potential. Like it's not like I hate Jermaine Johnson. Like people think like I would like blow my head off if they took him. I wouldn't prefer the pick at 10. I think he could be a good player in the league. I just think that he's much like I hear people talking about Jermaine Johnson like he's a technical savant. He's not. He has a lot to learn in terms of the pass rusher, in terms of consistently getting to the quarterback at the NFL level. Again, go watch the game against Miami, how he's beating those tackles. It's not replicatable in the NFL. It's just not. You know, he has plays where he's getting caught in the chest, he's high, and the tackle just took such a bad pass set that he's already off balance coming into contact, and he just pulls him and gets past him for like a strip sack, fumble, whatever it is. Like it's not replicatable. So he needs a lot more work in terms of a plan, leverage, consistency in hand usage. So it's not like I hate him. I liked him as a late teens, early 20s guy, but now that people are talking about at 4, that would be terrible to me. Him at 4, that would be an awful pick. Awful. That's a D- pick to me. I can't. 10, I get it. Again, not my preference. Papa Bear knows best. Kuiper's new mock has us taking Thibs for London 10 and us trading 35 and a fourth for 31 to Cincinnati take Linderbaum, but then has us taking okay. So 1 and 2, I'm cool with. Again, Linderbaum trading up to take a Linderbaum, no. And then a running back with all the needs, linebacker, safety. I can't do that. That's those 2 second-round picks and a trade up to take a position that we've already filled or already have filled is not worth it. Socrates, Jameson Williams. It could be a smokescreen, obviously, smokescreen season, or it could be the fact that teams have got to check him out medically and visits, and now it's spreading that hey, this guy is clean break. Because initially it seemed like he was going to be ready in like November. Now people are talking about him being ready in August. Obviously it's going to be a little bit slower of a ramp up for him in terms of learning the playbook and actually having to run the routes and do all that stuff. So he might be effective a little bit later in his rookie year if he was healthy. But if you're talking about being ready in late July or early August versus November, December, that's why I think he's rising back up. Heck no, not all of that for Deontay Johnson. So the Tyreek Hill trade was definitely more than the Deontay Johnson thing, but Deontay Johnson's a very good receiver. Like he's what, 24, 25? And that's the difference. Like Tyreek Hill might be better than AJ Brown and all these guys right now, but Tyreek Hill is 28 years old. DK and AJ are 24, 25, right? So there's a difference where those guys can be legit for another 6, 7, 8 years, where Tyreek Hill, he loses his speed. That's his game. So he might be effective for another 2-3 years. So you have to consider the age thing too. How much are you willing to give up for Deebo? Same as Tyreek Hill, if not a little bit more. Like even I know that's people's like floor or ceiling is because they just assume that he's you can get him for the same price. But at the end of the day, I'll be willing to give up more than they got for Tyreek Hill. There's a reason when we saw the trade compensation, the 2 seconds, a third, and getting a fourth back with Hill, we were all like lost our fucking minds. It's because that's a great trade. So if you're telling me, hey, okay, you have to give up 10 for Deebo and a little bit more, a third round pick, 10 and 69, I'm doing it. Like you're talking about one of the best receivers, best threats in the NFL for a team who legitimately does not have any superstars. He'd walk in and be the best player on our team. For 10, who we're hoping the receiver, if we draft him there, could be a third, half or 75% of what Deebo is, and a second round pick when the hit rate of a second round pick realistically is not very high, or 69. We're not willing to give that up for Deebo, and then at pick 69 or 38, it's like an okay player, and 10 is maybe London is just barely a Mike Williams or a Michael Pittman, which you'd sign up for now, to be completely honest, and you're not willing to give that up for Deebo. I get the injury thing. I get him being 26 years old, but the dude is a superstar. 4-10 difference is 500 points, so around pick 39. Yeah. Okay. So that trade, I think that trade for Deontay Johnson would be worth it. His dad is Phil Simms. Yeah, no, but he has a brother, right? What's up, Elias? Matt Sims played with the Jets, right? And his brother is Matt Sims played for the Jets. His brother was Chris Sims, correct? Matt Sims doesn't do all that shit. Or I could be wrong. I'm forgetting. I kind of said this before, Mike, with Kuiper's thing. Breece Hall early second. I like Breece Hall a lot. I think he's him and Walker fighting for running back 1 most likely. But they have too many needs. Linebacker, safety, receiver. To take Breece Hall there to me. Itching to see the draft at this point. Yeah, I'm never going to try to steal the spotlight or anything like that from what's his name, Ryan, Jets Talk 24/7. I should be on there in the next couple of weeks, I think. But first round, I'm going to be doing it after the draft. Again, later in the draft, second day, third day, I'm going to be streaming. So again, maybe you watch one after. Never watch Ryan's first. That's cool to me. Or have us both on. But I'm going to do for you guys too. I know there's people who want me to do it. I'm going to make an appearance on that one, but everybody's going to stream on the draft. That's a big thing. You're going to have him. You're going to have Let's Talk Jets. I'm sure Jets Today is doing something. I'm sure everybody's going to be doing it. So let's go, Brooklyn. What's up, Snoopy? Hickey, what's up? The weather changing is only making me anxious for the draft to come already. Yeah, we got 15 days left, so I'm pumped. I've done this before. Thanks for the question, though. We need 4 first-rounders like 2000. I think they legitimately finish. If there's on a receiver at 10, I'm pretty sure they're going to trade back up into the first round. Blewett, thanks for the hard work you put in the review streams are awesome. That being said, I have a life, but I find myself watching film all day. I can't. That's your fault. You click on it. It's like fat people blaming the spoon right there. Assassin. Yeah. People are fucking crazy, man. That's the whole Brooklyn thing. That's why I did that test for my county SWAT team. Hopefully I get it. I passed, but they're not going to take everybody. But that shit that hurts me inside. So that's some of the stuff that we might be getting called out to. But somebody's got to do it, and that's worth it. That shit's ridiculous to me. Oboe has a cool name. Yeah. Of your brutal honesty. Some people hate it, but again, a lot of other people. This guy's great. That guy's great. I'm happy with this guy. That guy, and they suck. And it's like, oh, well, who cares? Floki, what's up, man? Interesting stuff on Linderbaum. Thanks for sharing. Thank you for the question, Jets today. Thank you for being in here as well. Yeah, it's just the short arms, and it's even before the short arms thing with the combine. It's just he's not going to move guys. He's center only. He's very specific into zone schemes, and zone scheme. Even if you run it heavily, you're still only going to run it 70-75% of the time. There's going to be power. There's going to be counter. There's going to be draws. All that stuff. I just don't think he moves guys enough for me to be comfortable enough replacing McGovern. Now, if McGovern wasn't here and it was like Jonathan Harrison again or Ryan Khalil or whoever they had, okay, Linderbaum's cool, but he's just not good enough for me to replace McGovern for a second round. George Pickens in the second. Cool with it. Again, medicals. You hear people talk about him being the best receiver, second best receiver in the draft. But how are the medicals? Sort? It's not sort. It's most sort. Most cert. Good. I passed everything, relatively not easily. All the tests sucked, but I passed pretty easily. So 25 guys. So we'll see. What's up, Joe? Did you fill out your Jets schedule yet for a shot at the annual 100K? Is that a thing? What you could if you get all the wins losses right, you get 100K? I didn't know that. I'll try that. I can tell you the Jets schedule. I'm really anxious for it to come out because I go to Italy in September. And if I think the opener is going to be September 11th again. And then week 2 is obviously the 18th. If one of the first Jets home games isn't week 1 or 2 and their home opener is week 3, I'm going to lose my mind because I haven't missed a home opener in a really long time, but I can't obviously ditch on Italy for the home opener. That being said, praying the home opener is week 1 or 2, and I'm praying that the Packers game is not in the beginning of September or end of September, early October, because again, going to be in Italy, and I'm 100% going to Green Bay. I might go to Seattle too, because I want to see them suck, and I want to see Jamal Adams get beat by the Jets. So those are 2 teams I might go to. So I linked up with a couple of you guys at games and some of the other stuff. So if you guys were to go out to a game or any of that stuff, let me know. Would you draft Linderbaum at 35? Who else is there, Yoshi? Bailout. It's a bailout, but who else is there? At that point, I think you probably do, and then maybe trade McGovern. At that point, maybe it's worth it. But like trading back up and all that stuff, I don't think it's worth it. But 35, I think. Who else is there? I would probably pull the trigger and then trade McGovern. I don't love it though. Evil Skittles, who is relatively new unless you change your name. Do you think Nakobe Dean's the best linebacker in this draft, even over Devin Lloyd? I do. I get the whole he's short thing, but it's not like he's scrawny. He's 5'11", 230, which is plenty of weight per square inch. And he's much more consistent to me in terms of his mental processing than Lloyd. Lloyd, they're different players. Like Dean is more of a explosive athlete who can blitz inside, blitz outside, uber smart. Trigger is ridiculous. Again, I gloated over him for an hour that I did that review again, which will be out in a couple of days. Lloyd is and again, I'm not comparing him one for one because that's bullshit. You can never do that. But like Parsons light in terms of a guy who could cover tight ends, who could play stand-up linebacker, who has legitimate capability as an edge rusher in terms of being able to like bend the corner and all that stuff. So I like Lloyd a lot. I think he's very versatile. But in terms of just better player, whatever the pick is, Lloyd or Dean, I'm taking Dean. I love Dean. He's so legit, man. He's legit. Peter Allison, if we take Sauce at 4, Karlaftis or JJ at 10, who do you target at 35 and 38? So to me, at that point, let's just say they don't trade up. 35 is going to be a receiver. I don't know who I love there, to be honest. I think maybe Pickens. From what I've heard from Watson, I think he's being a little bit overrated by guys. Again, I think he's more of an athlete than a football player at this point. Kyle Smith, who I trust, he watched a decent amount of him, and he's saying, the yak is overrated, the routes are overrated. A lot of him being open a lot based on scheme, him coming out of the game. I'm just not big on Watson. So Pickens maybe. Olave's not falling there. Yeah, let's say Pickens or Dotson at 35, 38. Chad Muma, Harris, Leo Chanel, Brisker, like one of those guys, linebacker or safety at the other one. Which, by the way, now there's more people in here. I'm either going to take Collins in a little bit, or I'm going to do a mock draft where you guys are making the picks. I'm going to talk about the positions. I'm going to talk about the all that stuff. You guys are going to vote, and it's your mock draft. So if you give me, this draft sucks, it's a C-, that's your fault, or the majority of the chat's fault. So Kyle and I are doing next week again, next Wednesday show, not this next Wednesday, the next Wednesday after that. Marcus Coleman's coming on. Ask him questions, ask him stupid shit. I want him to be grilled a little bit. Love Marcus, good friend, but I want him to get grilled about the Jets. He's been off for a little bit too long. So let's press him a little bit. Salmon Jets, does Linderbaum fall at 35? Gun to my head, no. Can he? Yes. Why? Because how many teams in the center? 1, if we really went through the list, how many teams need 1? 2, how many teams run strictly zone? Because if you're taking him as a power team, gap team, it's a bad pick to me. So how many teams need a center? How many teams? So you're eliminating a lot of the potential suitors right there. So I could see it. I wouldn't bank on it though. Evil Skills, it's a concern. The arm length is a concern. Inside, getting your hands on guys. It's that and paired with the power. He's not really going to move guys. Dante had 1,100 yards and 8 TDs. Those are wide receiver 1 numbers. And considering the quarterback, like, listen, Big Ben had a great fucking career, but his arm is terrible. Like, he's not taking full advantage of his receivers. So, Bus Tyreek Hill without speed is bagging my groceries at Walmart. Yeah, maybe. Antonio, if the Jets want to get the best out of Zach, then which makes more sense, trading or drafting Watt? It's trading, and there's no debate to me for that. Like, I'm willing to hear opinions, talk about it with you guys. You cannot guarantee me that any one of these receivers in the draft is going to be as good as a guy you can trade for. And if you are, you're bullshitting, or you got men in black in terms of the pen and racing your minds in former drafts, because there's been plenty of guys, top 5, top 10, top 15, Jalen Reagors, Kevin Whites, whatever of the world, who people guarantee you're going to work out. I'm sure before the draft, they come in and they suck. You cannot guarantee that any one of these guys is going to be Debo, is going to be AJ, is going to be DK. So I'm willing to trade for one of those guys. It's easily the answer. There is no other answer. Okay. Yeah, evil skills. I'm with you. That's pretty much where I'm at. Dream scenario is Hutchinson, but Jan, appreciate the super chat, $20. Why are people drooling over JJ but not one word on Karlaftis? Because Karlaftis was not at the Senior Bowl, and the rumor is, okay, he doesn't have great bend, so he's not a good player. Because people love underwear Olympics, they love traits, they overlook people being legitimate football players. Again, there's plenty of players who don't have the best bend, who are great college prospects and who are great NFL prospects. Again, look at who DJ compared Jared Allen to, Hutchinson. Hutchinson's not the best bend, but he fucking dominated guys this year. Like, watching his film is ridiculous how bad he was beating guys this year. So, but Karlaftis is like a bad athlete. Short arms, longer arms than Hutchinson, 38-inch vertical. Like, he's an explosive straight line athlete. Is he going to be the best? Like, I talk about like big U-turns, gearing down, changing directions in the open field to tackle guys. No. And he doesn't have the best bend, but his technique is there. He's 20 years old. He's new to football. A guy who they literally say they had to kick him out of the film room. Like, he loves the game of football. So it's Senior Bowl. I didn't hear people talk about JJ like that before the Senior Bowl. I heard people talking about it as a first round pick, but at that point, like before the Senior Bowl, he was a guy who was like, of course, Adobe Flash Player popped up. Let me just click out of this. Yeah, he was a guy who was talking about like a late first, early second. He dominated guys on one-on-ones in Senior Bowl. Now he's option for 4. I can't, not there. Joshua, Joe, you did an awesome job, man. Appreciate what you do. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. I know. I get, the honesty turns people off. There'd be more people in here if I just talk positively about people all the time, but never gonna do it. Never gonna do it. No name. I'm calling you no name until you tell me you want to be called a man. Appreciate that, man. Hope he rots in jail. Oh yeah. Dude, like, for me, and this is, I'm not being realistic. I don't really mean this, but I kind of do. Like, I wish that there was like an eye for an eye thing. I really do. Like, hey, you did that to that little girl. I'm not gonna say whatever. Hey, here's the big show. Enjoy. You get locked in a room with him for a little while. Enjoy it. People will not do it. I get to sit in jail and have free food and cable. That's so bad. No, here's a big show. You will get acquainted with him very quickly. I'm going to watch from being, but just want to say what's up, Mike. Appreciate you being always in here. How many beers deep will you be if the Jets draft Neal at 4? Dude, either way, I'm going to come on here. It's going to be very, very interesting, but I will freak the fuck out. There will be shots. There will be everything. I will come on here obliterated. I think I'm be hanging out with my buddies draft night, so it might be interesting coming on here 11:30, 12. Maybe you guys call in. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. But that'll be bad. Bonjour, Joe. Bonjour. Hey, Joe, which wide receiver do you like schematically for us, or any of the receivers in this class worthy of it first? How do you like David Bell's tape? I like David Bell. Probably an option like 69. I think he's, again, a guy who's a better footballer than he's an athlete. So I think he's a later round guy. Now, I don't think that he's necessarily going to be a pick for us, because I'm assuming the Jets either trade up or take a receiver in the second at the absolute minimum. So are you going to double up at that point? Probably not. Schematically, honestly, I really like London. Like, people overlook the London thing. Tell me where he's not a fit. He's a yak guy. He can block, and he's a red zone threat that they won't currently have. Like, you chuck up the ball to him in the red zone. There's not guys on the Jets who could do that. Don't give me Uzama, because he hasn't caught a lot of balls in the red zone. Not a big touchdown producer, and he's not the best contested catch guy in the world. Conklin is a little bit short for that. Corey Davis is more of a possession guy. Elijah Moore is great, but red zone, we don't necessarily have that. So red zone guy, yak guy, blocker, a guy who's a good route runner who gets open quickly. Sounds exactly like what the Jets need. So London, Garrett Wilson's, again, has a capability of being a great route runner, but he's not right now. The highlights make him look great. But again, what about the other 30 reps? There's plenty of flaws in his route running. There's plenty of flaws in every guy, but people who just say, oh, he's the best route runner, I disagree. Lord of Voldemort, what's up? Boo Harvick, also boo Tiger. Okay. Booing a lot of people. Appreciate it. All right. I don't know, Antonio. I really think that Wills goes in to the Lions at 2. Past that, do maybe the Panthers trade up for Pickett? Do the Steelers trade up to 10 for Pickett if he's there? Like Steelers, Saints, Panthers, Falcons as a dark horse. I don't know. New York Jets, Florida loves seeing in the second round. Do you concur? I like safety in the second round. I'm going to watch him again. From what I've heard from people I trust, he's more of a box guy. Do we need a box guy? We have Whitehead. I prefer Brisker, Hill, even though I think Hill's not going to be there. So I probably prefer Brisker over him, or even maybe like Petrie, because I don't necessarily know if he could play high. If he can play high, and maybe he's being a little bit overlooked in that aspect, sure. But Whitehead's not a guy you're playing at free safety often. So, yeah, there you go, Steven. You agree, too. Joe Nelson, if Hutch and KT and Sauce are gone by 4, who are you taking? Yeah, somebody asked me this. I think it's going to be Walker. At that point, it's Walker or Karlaftis, and I would hate it because those are both reaches there. Those are reaches there. Why is Karlaftis falling into? I talked about it before. Yes, he's more athletic than people think, for sure. He's better technically. He's very raw to the games. There's a lot of upside to just get better. But again, he doesn't bend well, and he didn't play in the Senior Bowl, and you haven't heard his name in a while. That's why he's falling. I would be very happy with him at 10. Antonio, rumors OBJ might sign with the Patriots. Diggs, Hill, and maybe OBJ. Jets do need Sauce. Yeah, dude. Like it's there's both sides of the argument for this in terms of like, oh well, DNs help corners. Corners also help DNs. Like if you're getting beat on a bullet slant, a one-step slant, the DNs can't get there. So there's a balance. Like I would rather have a decent edge rush and a decent cornerback group than a really bad cornerback group and an amazing edge rush, or vice versa, an amazing cornerback group and a really bad edge rush. I rather it's in the middle. It's not one or the other. And I'm not saying they have a terrible cornerback group because I do like Bryce Hall, but if they think Sauce is like I do, the second best player in the draft, and they think he could be a legit superstar number 1, I'm okay with taking him. That's just how it is. Mims will be 100% better this year, so 5 catches. That's, again, I'm not trying to shit on Mims, but yeah, let's be realistic. I love them coming out of Baylor. I love them coming out of year 1, but last year was one of the biggest disappointments I've ever seen in my life. Really. Like I thought he was going to be a stud. Like coming into the year with Mims, Crowder, Cole, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, I was ecstatic because I thought Mims is a legit starting receiver, and last year he shit the bed. Dean is the man. Yeah, Dean, I gush over him. Evil Skittles. This it is my first time tuning into your stream, by the way. I have always appreciated your content, though. Your film reviews. Don't know of another Jets fan that breaks down film like you do. Appreciate that, Evil Skittles. First time making an impression. I'll remember your name. Mocks are fun. Hit that like, nation. Sorry, I don't want Linderbaum. Yeah, I'm not really overly for it. We should all go into a war room together and fight each other because we all want different players. Last man gets a pick player. Sure. Maybe some pads, maybe we stand you guys up on one of those, what the hell are they called? You stand on like that cushiony thing, and you have like those big sticks and you knock each other off. I don't want to see anybody get knocked out and hit their head and die or something like that. So we could do that. We'll set it up for you, Steven. Joe, do you take Lindstrom or in the 4th or thereabouts? I'll be willing to. Yeah. A backup center, right? Or am I wrong? Or is that Juergens? Lindstrom's a center, right? Again, I'm not gonna lie to you guys in terms of like I don't do mock drafts and all that stuff all the time, so I forget some guys' names. But a backup center, a guy who can develop if he's good enough, you let him step in year 2. If he's not, okay, now he's good depth, and you re-sign McGovern. So yeah, I'll be willing. I think if Drake London there is 10, this is from Marlon. If Drake London's there at 10, he is the pick unless we take an edge at 4 and Sauce is still on the board at 10. Yeah, I think it's going to be a receiver at 10 if I had to bet my money on it right now. Unless they trade for a guy. But yeah, if it's edge at 4 and Sauce on the board at 10, which I severely doubt, you have to take Sauce at 10. You cannot pass there. At that point, you trade back up into the first round. And that's like your ideal scenario. Like KT 4, Sauce 10, and then you trade up and you get, again, receiver 1, 2, 3, depending on how far you trade up. Cool with it. JPA football, on Twitter, are they reliable? I don't know. Kyle Hamilton falling down teams' draft boards and could fall out of the top 10 per if I had to bet right now, it's not even gossip. I would gun to my head, Kyle Hamilton falls out of the top 10. Again, he was overhyped from the beginning. Edward Figueroa. Why are people not talking about drafting tight end anymore? Because they signed 2 tight ends. And both tight ends are probably, just based on what they showed with the respective teams, are the best tight ends the Jets have had since Dustin Keller. And that's not saying a lot. Listen, like the only other guy you can compete for that spot is Austin Seferian-Jenkins, maybe. So it's more of a secondary need now. I think, again, grabbing a Jelani Woods or Ruckert or Kolar in the 4th, 5th, 6th, or not the 6th, but 4th or 5th, I think it's an option. But if at the point where you're taking a guy at 35 or 38, you're pouring too much resources into a position that's more of a secondary need now. Eel Skittles, yeah, I'm not in on that. Joe, who is your sleeper pick you'd love us to get? So you guys know I did like 18 to 19 reviews, like legitimate reviews on these guys, and I've seen some others like just in passing. So I'm gonna stick to what I know because I don't want to give you like bullshit. But Dean, somehow they trade down, they get extra picks, they address receiver. Dean is a guy who I would absolutely love on the Jets. And it's, I know maybe you're looking for a guy in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, whatever. But I haven't watched enough to really say like sleeper guy. So didn't Mims supposedly kill at the Senior Bowl, overrated event? I like what Mims did at the Senior Bowl, raw power. The thing is, but you're correct at the same time. Do not overrate what both receivers and DNs do in the Senior Bowl because it's made for them to win. You're always going to hear DNs lighting it up, receivers lighting it up. Again, how often do you have a two-way go on a tackle, 5, 7-step drops, multiple seconds to win, two-way go, knowing it's not a run, knowing it's not a quick set, knowing it's, knowing the situation. How often do receivers have all the time in the world to just beat a corner one-on-one, not have to worry about a safety driving down like a cut coverage or, being a run play. Like it's made for those guys to win. Charles M. London over Williams. I would be up for taking Williams as long as they trade up. They trade or pick another receiver. Depends on where. If they take Williams and they take, Kyle Phillips at 111. Okay, we're talking. Girth Brooks, what's up? Read Raw. That and the comment are very overrated. Yeah, it's 100%. Harambe's code. I'm not sure what that is, Rusty. You gotta explain it to me. Me too, Joe O'Neill. The guy is I'm not for it. Gaspard Friends. Would you be mad at Sauce 4, Karlaftis 10, Pickens 35, Brisker at 38? That's like almost best case scenario. Minus the fact that I would hope in this. Okay, so the only thing I would really hope that would be better than this would be like realistically. Okay, you're gonna package 35 and maybe 69. You move back up to like the mid to late 20s and you grab, a receiver who doesn't have as many questions as Pickens. Let's say it's London or Williams. Well, Williams has the injury, but let's say they trade up and London somehow falls. Like that's somewhat realistic. Wilson, maybe, one of those guys falls. I don't want to wait till 35 for a receiver, but if I decided the dotted line for that right now, I would. J. Cole. Always asking people about food. At first, I just thought it was a joke, but you do that a lot. What is RAS and why is it important? RAS is relative athletic score to like your position. So, and it's been tracked since like the last 20 years, right? So it's basically just tracking your relative athleticism to your position over the last 20 or so years. So that's why it's important. How athletic are you? And taking swings on those guys is great, because if they could reach the ceiling of their RAS, they could be studs. Like, Jonathan Marshall was like 2 out of the last 1,400 D tackles. You have Walker, who is 999. You have Tyreek Woolen. Like, if they're elite athletes, you'd hope with proper coaching, they could be elite players. So it's relative athletic scores. Isn't Corey Davis 6'3", 6'2", 6'3"? Yeah, but I don't think he's necessarily the best red zone threat. I think over the middle, he's a good contested catch guy, but vertically fades. He hasn't really proven that in his career. Drake London is also a good fit. I think people see a taller guy who has flashy contested catches and thinks Mims when London is a much better prospect than Mims. Yeah, I agree. MB mock simulators are so bad sometimes, or all the time. Today I got Hutch 4, Sauce 10, London 35, and Dean at 38. That is literally the best, absolute best case scenario for me in the world. Legitimately, I could not make a better mock draft. Mine, like, yeah, I don't, how can you make a better mock draft than that? London at 35 and Dean at 38. Like, are we kidding me? But he didn't ask. He asked RAS, not Yak, right? Or Rack. Maybe I'm wrong. Phil C, why the hell does everyone make the comparison for Sauce to Cromartie? 2 reasons. They're both fast. Or sorry, 3 reasons. They're both fast. They both played for the Jets. They're similar in size. That's it. Marlon, it kind of has to be linebacker in round 2. Yeah, I'm down with that. Like, listen, linebacker is in a vacuum a massive need for the Jets. Like, if you're just stacking up and you just eliminate Zach Wilson from the team, it's probably D end 1, linebacker 2, in terms of just looking at the position. Like, Quincy Williams is our second linebacker right now. I like him as a depth guy, and then even past that, if they're gonna see heavy sets and you're running actual 4-3, your third guy is Hamza or Sherwood, who didn't prove anything last year. Who, I get it, they're moving from safety to linebacker. They're 5th, 6th round picks. It's gonna take them a little bit, but yeah, linebacker's a massive need. I don't get it. So if you were going to double dip on any position in this draft, what position would it be? I would say linebacker, to be honest. Like, I think 1 safety does it. I think 1 receiver does it. I think 1 tight end does it. 1 running back does it. So yeah, linebacker. Because I legitimately think they need 2, at least a starter, but 2 would be great. If they were to sign like a Jayon Brown right now and then draft a guy in the 2nd round still, I'll be happy with it. Yeah, Joe Payne, I appreciate the super chat, and I agree. Just kind of hit it. Not a lot of people talk about how weak we are at linebacker. It's a massive need. I don't get the. Maybe it's, again, Saleh and Joe Douglas and whoever and staff seeing that maybe Hamza and Sherwood are developing better behind the scenes. They really like Quincy Williams. And they're going to take big steps up, and they have a lot of faith in themselves as linebacker coaches, obviously with both Ulbrich and Saleh, starting as linebacker coaches, or at least making a lot of hay there. They have faith in themselves to develop these guys, but no way. Not for me. Not for me. Yeah, sneakers. Draft is unpredictable this year for sure. You have, like, typically, 5 to 10 guys who are kind of chalk in the top 15. This year is not there. I like to boo hockey. More of an NFL football guy. Is this something I just don't? Am I not privy to this? Are you talking about literally like you don't like hockey? I like hockey. I'm definitely more of a football guy though. That is for sure. But you like to boo hockey? Like, you go to games and just boo? Like, what are you doing with that, Girth? I'm not sure if I'm not picking up on something and it went over my head here. But thanks for the super chat. Like to boo hockey. Hockey's fun. Go to a hockey game. They're awesome. What makes Brisker more of a high safety? Thought seen as a better athlete and has better instincts. I think Brisker's a hard sell for me as someone who's the best in the box. But George, again, I don't lie to you about players. I've only heard the difference between these guys, and Brisker's more high, seen as more low. So I'm not gonna say, oh well, this and that. I don't know. I'm honest. I haven't watched enough of these guys to tell you everything. Can't do it. I'll tell you every single thing after they're drafted because I'm going to do full-blown film reviews. They're going to be hours long on each one of these guys. Would I like Chris Olave on the Jets? Sure, but where? 1st round? Not necessarily. 10? Absolutely not. Again, I don't think he's the best scheme fit for the Jets, and I think he's being a little bit overrated. I thought he was going to maybe be a guy who's going to be early or late 20s, mid 20s. Maybe they trade up a couple spots for him. Okay, cool with that. But at 10, no way. No way. If we could get Tyreek Woolen, and Nick Cross in the 3rd, 4th, that'd be crazy. Yeah, 2 guys who are absolute freaks in terms of RAS. Jets like that. I could see it happening. Realistically, let's say, okay, so we're going, what is that? 69 and 111. So your first couple picks are probably, let's just say, D-end, receiver, linebacker, and then maybe 38's D tackle, running back. And then you're getting a corner and a safety with massively high RAS scores to develop. I'm okay with it. Okay, moving on. Booing hockey is cray-cray. Yeah, I don't know why you booing it. Just don't watch it. It's a good sport. Hockey's great, man. Big game for the Yanks tonight. It's like game 5. The Mets are 5-2 now. They should have swept the Phillies. They really should have. Pete Alonso, man, with those 2 errors, like taking his damn time getting a second and flipping it to home. I just lost it. Drew Pacabra, Green Bean said there's no receiver in this draft, this year's draft worth taking at 10. Do you agree? In a vacuum, yes. For the Jets, because of where they are in terms of the receiver core, I would say no. So which way are you to take it? Big board, again, everything in a vacuum, everything being equal, probably not. But for me, Williams, Rick Lund at 10, I think would be okay picks. Again, don't prefer it, but it is what it is. Oh, you got to be tired of this by now, Memo. Tired of what? Talking to you guys? No, we're good. I am excited to talk about the draft with you guys. I'm hoping, again, you come here, you have me and Ryan or whoever else. Let's talk Jets. I know they're doing it all on. You have a massive computer screen with all of us, but maybe they're muted and we have the volume up on us. I never want to steal followers, but there's obviously people who want this show as well. So the Yankees stink. Let's go Mets. Yeah, I'm a Mets fan. Mets, Nets, Jets, Devils. Johnny Lawrence. When is that show coming back, guys? I actually like that show. It's super corny, but I like it. JT Woods, Baylor, ball hawk potential. Yeah, isn't he another high RAS guy? 3rd, 4th round guy. See it. Make Mims great again. I wish he could be. That'd be great. I really don't want to give up 35 and 38 to move up. I think that's a great spot for us. I do too. I love the players who are going to be there, but if you don't have a receiver at 4 or 10, you're playing a risky game waiting for a receiver at that point. TKO Steve, always killing it. Changed his profile picture, right? Used to be some white crazy looking dude. I don't know exactly what that is. Used to be like that picture of like guys in like ice cream trucks, I think. TKO Steve, bad news. That's Steve. You kind of got me there. I'm not gonna lie. Bad news. My doctor said. I was like, oh shit, man. What's going on? Draft fatigue. Great show as always. All right. I think we all have draft fatigue. Guess what? You got me though. I was about to be sad for you if you had some complications. London isn't gonna fall. He'd be gone by 15 at the latest. I could see him falling a little bit more than that. I would have to go through the teams and see who needs receivers there. But yeah, I think Kyle would be disappointed that you don't know Harambe's code. Screw Kyle, he's not here. Pete Frenno, what's up, man? Yeah, it's been a little while. Been here. Oh, Harambe's code is I for I. Okay, yeah, I suck with history and stuff. The 282. Yeah, I'm all for I for I. Again, you shoot somebody and it's like, hey man, you got to get shot now. Same place. It's like, maybe I'm not gonna pull the trigger right now. It worked. Okay, moving on. I'm still a few minutes behind the chat. Boo Harvick, what? Am I missing something? What is going on with the Boo stuff? Robbie, thanks for the super chat, Old Voldemort. My wife loves your appearances in Harry Potter. She's a big Harry Potter fan, so I appreciate it for that. But I don't know what the Boo Harvick stuff is about. Robbie Anderson has a 10 RAS run after score. It's relative athletic score from when he jumped into the stands and kicked his feet up in Miami. Love that play. I liked Robbie Anderson when he was here. I wouldn't touch him on the 10-foot pole now, though. Okay. Moving on. Who are we taking at 4? It's going to be one of Thibodeau, Sauce, or Walker. Bukaki, Garth Brooks does not like hockey. Just don't watch. Pete Alonso gets the yips. Yeah, there's two errors hurt, but again, he single-handedly won us a game today, most likely. So every time the bullpen comes in from the Mets, I start sweating. It's not good. I'm hoping they make a move. I don't know who. Again, not necessarily the biggest baseball fan. I probably watch half the games. My midnight schedule doesn't necessarily help that, but yeah, he's not the best first baseman. John Hassel, where in Italy? My mother's family is Italian. I've been there. My wife made the itinerary. I know we're not going. What's like the mountain? All the mountains down like it's like by the water and shit, whatever that is that everybody goes to down south. We're not going there. We don't have enough time, but like Rome and places up north, whatever mountains are north. I'm not, again, I would need a map with all the names. You know, it's not like I'm saying, oh, Georgia, you know, Wyoming. I don't remember all the names, but mid to high, we're going to like 2 or 3, every like 2-3 days, we're moving spots. So we're there for 2.5 weeks. So I'm hitting at least like eight different places. So I forget all the names. What's the deal with Stingley? A guy who was ridiculously good in 2019, had injuries, play slacked off from 2019 to 2020 to 2021, plus injuries. A risky pick, but a guy who could be, he's a legit stud in terms of what he did in 19 and what he did, or what he's made of in terms of like his athleticism. So risky pick, but you're hoping for 2019 stuff. Joe Lewis, unfortunately, I'm starting to think JJ's a pick at 4, quite a reach in my opinion. Yes, I would be not happy at all. At all. That's one of the worst case scenarios for me. Joe, I know you're not high on JJ, but he did win a good amount of reps on Ekwonu. I think I watched that game, to be honest. I forget. Again, the thing is, like when you watch literally thousands of reps, you forget sometimes. But overall, Ekwonu is not some stud tackle where his technique is super clean. Like he has a problem oversetting. He has a problem shooting 2 hands, locking his hips out. So it's not like JJ couldn't beat Ekwonu. Ekwonu is not some generational guy. So, and even if he did beat him up that bad that game, that's one game. I watched multiple and I wasn't thrilled with JJ. Not in terms of him being a guy in a mid to late first. I'm talking about thrilled with him at 4 or 10. I wouldn't be. I think it's a way to go. You know, I'm obviously, you know, Ben, like you can have a good game. What about the other games? How do I rate Sky Moore from Garbage Time Fantasy Football? Guy who is shooting up draft boards. Like people, you know, you might have said, okay, get him at 69 a couple days ago, but with how people are talking about him recently, he might not be there at 69. So I don't know though. I haven't watched him enough. Heading to Las Vegas for the draft from Joe Payne. Super chat. Thank you. I want Elam and Quay in the second. Okay. Yeah. I don't think that's the worst case scenario. You know, another good corner in here, good linebacker. I'd be curious to see who you want at 4 and 10 with that. But yeah, that's, you know, DN receiver, Elam in the second, Quay. Elam's a big zone guy though, right? He's not a man guy. So I'd be curious to see if they like him in their third down, like blitz situations, if he's in a man up, or they're going to go to more zone blitzing and stuff. But enjoy it. I went to the draft in 2013 when the Jets drafted D. Milner and Sheldon Richardson, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. I'm not gonna lie. It just, you had to go there the day before to wait in line to get the ticket. You couldn't get out of line. You'd lose your spot. You have to wait in line again. And I was drinking. I had like, at that time I was 2013, so I was 20, and I had a couple of drinks and a big gulp. And I had to pee really, really bad, and you couldn't get out of line. That was a terrible experience. And the next day, you have to go there to wait in line again and get in. You get in, all the cameras, all the broadcasters are all in front of you. You can't see the stage. You have to listen in to the draft through an earphone. Like it wasn't, I didn't like it at all, to be honest. I'd much rather be here, drink with my buddies, get on with you guys on the live stream. But hopefully it's different now. That was almost 10 years ago. Block user. Okay, yeah, we got one of those like sexy chats. Live stream or stream with our girls plus 18. It's like, what the fuck? Stingley has so many red flags. Yeah, he does, Rusty. It's risky. It is. At 10, I'm not, you know, I wouldn't do it. I could see it happening, honestly. Like if you're taking a shot on Stingley, what he was in 2019, I get it, but that'd be ridiculous. I'm a Jermaine person, so he's someone I would want. That's fine. That's fine. Go in whatever. I don't know. There's no spaces in that. Go Hannah Jared. I don't know. It's fine. People have different opinions. I'm not the biggest fan. AJ made the North Carolina Tar Heel tackle look generational. I'm not sure if I watched that game. If we go Sauce at 4, would you be okay with? Yeah, same question as we got before. Would you be okay with JJ at 10? Oh, especially if Karlaftis is off the. I don't see Karlaftis being off the board at 10. I would. So the key word of this question is okay. I would be okay with JJ at 10, but it's not a slam dunk for me. Like there's plenty of other guys I would like. But I get the need for edge at that point. Like if now if it's, you have 4 DNs going in the top 10 and JJ's the fifth big DN sitting there. Do you skip that and hope for Boye Mafe or Ebiketie or one of these guys, whatever, in the second round? It's too big of a need for me to do that. So I think JJ would be the pick. Again, at that point, getting into that spot, not a fan of it, but I'll be okay with it. Why is Elam being overlooked for a corner? Not one person is talking about him. I think it's because he's like a strictly zone guy, and he's not the best athlete in the world, right? He's a little bit stiff. It's the best of my knowledge, so that's probably why he's being overlooked. Rusty's saying he thinks Casey goes for Sky Moore at 29. Yeah, he's been shooting up draft boards. Every player has a bad game. Yeah, I don't know what necessarily. If you're referring to JJ, I watch more than one game though. I'm just not. I don't know. Nani wrote a red flag article about Fant facing an easy slate of edges this year. Should we sell high and draft Icky? No, for me, GVH there. Again, I think Fant at the minimum is a average to below average tackle, which doesn't sound great, but still, if he's one of your worst weaknesses on the line, like, okay, you have Fant who's average to below average, which is doing him a little bit of a disservice. Connor McGovern, who's average to below average, and then you have Tomlinson plus starter. Becton, he comes back plus starter. AVT plus starter. Those are the worst 2 guys in your line. You have a pretty good offensive line. And with that being said, okay, so is it worth replacing an average guy with a question mark in Icky, who I love, but still a question mark overall, instead of taking a position of need, DN, corner. Well, corner's not the biggest position of need. You know how I say on that, but it is what it is. I appreciate it's a bucket list item for me. Joe Payne, in terms of the draft, I think it got a lot better than what it was at Radio City Music Hall, but it wasn't the best when I went. So I hope it's a lot better for you. Robbie, Stingley seems like the kind of player that works out perfectly for another team, but if the Jets drafted him, he'll be out of the league in like 4 years. And that's the thing with Stingley. I could see him being an absolute stud. Like I'm talking like one of the better top 10, top 15 corners of the league if he replicates what he did in his freshman year and he's healthy. I could also see him facing injuries and tapping out a little bit. And again, being maybe not out of the league, but not a starting level corner in a couple of years. It just is what it is. Also, I'm not into Hamilton as a safety. Yeah, I agree with you there. That's definitely spam. Yeah, of course, Nathan. The stream 18 plus. Yeah, I know. What's your prediction of a player that will fall into our lap in the second round, like Moore did last year? Who? Let's see. I'm not gonna pull up for you guys. I'm gonna pull up my board and see who could fall into our lap. So the guys I watched, because I did 18 guys, so maybe one of these guys falls later on. Maybe prediction. That's so hard. That's so hard to say. Like falls into your lap. Like who? You know what? I'll give you one guy who I think could fall. I think it'd be a little bit silly for him to fall this far. Trent McDuffie. Let's say that. Let's give you that name. I like Trent McDuffie a lot. Has shorter arms, but legitimately good in terms of technique. I think he's a guy who could play both safety and corner. If he was there at 35, I would jump at it. So yeah, that's what I'll give you. Trent McDuffie. Gonna wear. Dude, D. Miller was good at Bama. He just had so many injury problems, and even his December as a rookie, like Panthers, Browns. Who else was in that slate? He played well. He got a couple picks, a couple PDs, one rookie of the month or defensive rookie of the month, and he just couldn't get over the injuries. Chris Sims also played for the Bucks. He was good to an average QB before getting hurt, being phased to retire. Joe Payne, where does Walker sit with you? The combine hype smells like more like. So Joe, just being quick on this, I thought he was near a top 10 guy before the combine. I recorded the plays, watched him before the combine. The combine shot him up to a top 5 pick, most likely top 6, top 7. I think that's a little bit high for him. I would be cool with him at 10, not necessarily cool with him at 4. I like, obviously, the athleticism is ridiculous. I don't think Georgia did him favors in terms of playing him inside and as a 5-tech. I think if you really want to unleash him as a pass rusher, they would let him go for the quarterback, an attack front, not sitting and waiting type deal. And also a guy with that speed to power. You can't take advantage of speed to power as well as a 5-tech as you can as a 7 or 9. So They didn't do him favors in terms of producing. But I like him. I just don't like him at 4. 10, I'm cool with it. On Hassel, Joe, how does Quinnen's remaining contract and option preclude the Jets from taking Jordan Davis for either first-round pick? Well, okay. So I'm not sure exactly what you're asking here, John. If you're assuming Q is going to be gone after this year, then okay, it shouldn't necessarily preclude you from taking Jordan Davis. But even Jordan Davis, like I think when I watched Georgia, Wyatt was a better D tackle. Jordan Davis shot up the boards because of athleticism. So I'm not sure he's worth 4 or 10 in general. And with that, let's assume Q works out because we want him to. He's a good player. Hopefully takes another step this year. So let's say Q works out. Let's be positive for once. And you have JFM inside. You have Sheldon Rankins inside. So now you have a logjam of D tackles. You're only playing 2. You have 4 guys. It's just it's not worth it for me at 10. And I don't think he's worth 10 regardless. So moving on. How quickly will Vern? Yeah, that's going to be brought up a lot. It's going to be brought up a lot. I couldn't tell you. Like when he was drafted, I was like 14, 15. So I was like watching football, but not like this. So it's not like I studied Golston, so I can't tell you the similarities if there is any. Phil C. Stingley was going one-on-one with Chase each practice his freshman year. Maybe he played at the lower competition levels the next 3 years or the next years. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but Stingley just overall, what I watched from him, he was better in 2019 than he was in 2021. No matter who he played. If the Jets had the first overall pick, and my bully, appreciate the super chat as always. If the Jets had the first overall pick this year, would Hutchinson really be the choice, or do you think we'd trade back? It's Hutchinson, dude. Like, I get that he's not Myles Garrett. I get that he's not maybe Bosa. Like that, I get that, but he is a step below those guys slightly. Like I like Hutchinson a lot. So if you're at 1, easy to pick. McDuffie is in. All right, people. Let's remember that name, dude. Yeah, 35. I'd be ecstatic with McDuffie. I before his arm length came out, like he's a guy who I thought was a realistic option at 10. The short arms hurt him, but he's 5'10". He can't play the outside. Jari Alexander is 5'10", 5'11". So you take him at 35. I'm cool with that. Okay, moving on. How about an IQ test instead of a fight? Ooh, John Hassel's challenging Stephen Engel here. All right. Did a few mocks recently and saw Linderbaum fall as low as 67 from Rusty. I couldn't believe it. But we've all seen some crazy thing happen during the draft. Yeah, it's, again, I always bring it up. Sean Wade, supposed to be a top 10, top 15, top 20 pick. He fell to their 5th round. I get it's because he struggled. I think he's Ohio State. He played in the slot, and then his last year in college and moving to the outside, he struggled. But still, like you never know. You absolutely. I would bet my house on he doesn't fall that low, but it could happen. Okay, moving on. No thoughts on Darnold interview on Busting with the Boys? I have no idea what you're talking about. Ben Collins, Joe, could you tell us your top 15? Do you want the top 15 in terms of the Jets big board, or do you want the top 15 in terms of big board in a vacuum? Ben, you let me know. I'll give you my top 15 big board. I would probably I made this big board in the beginning of or at the end of March, so things might have changed in terms of what I've heard about guys. Let me change. Let me just look at it real quick and I'll change it. Probably change that. Change that. Gotta change that too. I'm trying to do my best to. There's one guy down here who I don't really like in terms of him being so low, but I really do not want to see the Jets take an offensive lineman. So I did it for the Jets. I'll do it for the Jets. Let's see. So 1, Hutchinson. 2, Thibodeau. 3, Sauce. 4, Walker. Don't like it at all though. 5 Karlaftis, 6 London, 7. I don't have Jameson Williams in here though, so I'm putting or Jameson Williams. Yeah, I'm putting him in there, even though I haven't really like watched him. But Hutch 1, Thibodeau 2, Sauce 3, Walker 4, Karlaftis 5, London 6, Williams 7, Dean 9, Jermaine Johnson, Dean 8, Jermaine Johnson 9, Devin Lloyd 10, Stingley 11, Garrett Wilson 12, Hamilton 13, 14's Aquanu, and 15 is McDuffie. Again, I've only watched 18 guys, so there's plenty of guys who you're not hearing in there. Linderbaum 16, Green 17, Burks 18, Neal 19. There's plenty of guys I have not watched, so understand that. That's the guys I've really watched. So thank you, Eagle, for getting rid of that. Oh, in a vacuum? Fuck. Well, I didn't. That's the one for the Jets. I didn't adjust the one in a vacuum. Yeah, that's one for the Jets. I'd have to do that all again for that one. Phil C, is there anything in here that I need to know? What did he say? I'm not really on Twitter a lot and stuff. I just I am, but I'm not. I don't really look at our interviews and whatever. Hey Ho, what's up, Ho? I'm not sure if you covered this, but what linebacker could the Jets draft in rounds 2, 3? I feel like linebackers are major weakness and nobody but you talks about. There's other people who talk, like at least people in here who have talked about it even before I brought it up because you guys are smart. You're looking at Leo Chanel. You're looking at Muma. You're looking at Harris. You're looking at Brandon Smith. It's like a hybrid D-end, strong side linebacker, kind of freaky guy. There's some other guys, but those are off the top of my head. I think they should really grab one, second or third rounds. We'll see. Okay. Isn't Joe Hayden relatively small and plays outside? Yeah, Joe Hayden's not a big guy. Jari Alexander's not a big guy. Jason Brett, when he was with the Niners and playing well, is not a big guy. Like Drew Pacabra. Walker is 25 pounds heavier than Golston. It's a terrible comparison. Golston couldn't play the trenches and Walker could play D-tackle. Give me a break. I think it's more them being raw, them being workout guys and actual like physical comparisons. So yeah, it's a bad comparison. But I Walker, like he's risky, but in terms of him stunting, him playing inside, outside, him in the run game, like he's never going to be a bad player. It's just risky in terms of his physical, his upside in terms of rushing. But yeah, not into neither am I. Let's talk about players that are unicorns. Do you think he has someone in mind? I don't think there's any unicorns in this draft. I think maybe you could talk about unicorns in terms of RAS, the guys like Rusty brought up before, like the Tyreek Woolens of the world, Walkers, like there are guys out there, but there's no like generational guys. But I think the Jets like to take guys with high RAS scores for that reason. They have faith in their coaching staffs, and they can hopefully get them to where they need to be. Let's see. When you watch him, you're going to flip out on Jameson Williams. Maybe. I've heard that with a lot of guys, though. I heard that with Hamilton, and I did not flip out. So I've watched Jameson Williams. I think he's very, very good. The number one receiver in this class. I also think like he's a very good deep threat, good yak guy. But in terms of like consistency, running intermediate and short routes, I don't think it's necessarily there. So we'll see. Moving on. Yeah, I realize. Okay. Joe, if you got 10 free unblocked rushes off the backside edge versus the Jets, how many times could you finish the sack on Zach Wilson? How quick is the ball out? One time. I think people underrate how freaking ridiculous NFL athletes are, but one time. Does he know I'm there? Is it a quick pass? Yeah, one time. Brian Asamoah would be a great fit for the Jets, in my opinion. Freak athlete. I've seen that. Beavers isn't Beavers not a big coverage guy though? Could be wrong. Joe Bussin with the boys. There's a Taylor Lewan podcast. Donald was talking about the trade to Carolina and New York Jets fans. Who's actually really cool and down to earth. Too bad we didn't help him out. Yeah, I said this on when I was talking to Tyson. The Jets basically surrounded Zach Wilson or surrounded Donald. It was like the same thing that Zach Wilson had with the Panthers game, like getting absolutely abused all game. That's kind of what Donald had to face in his entire career without Corey Davis and Elijah Moore. Like he had a terrible supporting cast, terrible coaches. It's It's unfortunate. So, non-Jets news, rip Gilbert Gottfried, one of the best comedy guys of all time. I listened to him on Rogan a couple months ago. He's the guy who voiced the bird in Aladdin, right? He's a stand-up guy. I could be wrong. That's his name, right? Yeah, obviously, R.I.P. Since we're talking about bust picks, what do you think of Copels coming out of NC? Again, really, really amateur at that point. I did not like it, though. I remember I liked Melvin Ingram more than Copels. I wasn't thrilled with the pick, but I remember I wanted Melvin Ingram, which would have worked. People don't realize Hutch is super athletic. He's athletic enough. Like, I don't think he's a superb athlete. I think he's good enough that if you pair good technique with him, he could be a very like, and that was the knock on Bosa. Like, Bosa is not Hutchinson. Myles Garrett. He's not Von Miller. He's not Chandler Jones. But he's athletic enough where you pair that with really good technique, you could be a superstar player. And I think that Bosa is a better athlete than Hutchinson. But Hutchinson's not a bad athlete. Like, he doesn't have the best bend. Yeah, he's 6'6". He doesn't have the longest arms, but he dominates guys. James Williams is a hand catcher, hard pass, and he says, "I mean a body catcher." Yeah, I've seen that too. Okay. What are some of your strengths and weaknesses of Walker? I'll read you the whole list if you want. And then, do you guys want to do call-ins, or you guys want to do a mock draft where it's literally completely on you? You guys let me know. I'm not sure people at this point, like, they might have, who's going to call in? Like, we've talked about the same shit for weeks now. Strengths and weaknesses on Walker. Let's see. Where is my list? Walker. I watched Kentucky, Alabama, Michigan, and Alabama again. The strengths I have for him. Take a deep breath. It's actually a pretty big list. Okay, ready? Strength, speed for size, versatility as he lined all over Georgia's defensive front, explosive length, natural power, seen him drop into coverage and not look totally out of place, fluidity for size, smooth, very strong hands, strength and base, sets a strong edge, lateral movement, rush moves include long arm, club rip, bull jerk, bull spin, double swipe, great in run game, effort, core strength, anchor, stacks blockers with ease, speed to power, first step quickness, flexibility for size, controls point of attack, change of direction, resets hands when stacking blocker, hand placement in run game, works off insteps in run game, the most powerful position you can be in, inside out pillars in run game to keep half clean to running back, will shorten stride to read interior offensive linemen's sets when rushing inside, timing of feet hands mostly good, plays with good extension, can handle double teams, ankle flexion, bend for size, hard to get him off track, good on stunts, engages as a looper to distract and keep himself clean, timing of long arm flashes of plus pass rushing, flashes, awareness, 35-inch arms, 4.51 40 time, weaknesses. Bullshit, you guys, this is all here. Can get stalled in rushes, relies on power too often, counter rush moves, hand usage as rusher. Want to see him shed earlier in run game. Too many sacks, tackle attempts are broken. Yeah, that was definitely a problem. Needs to stack moves more consistently. This is a question. How is he in consistently full-time role, multiple games with less than 20 snaps, some games with plus 70, so that's not a big concern. Need to tighten up rip move. Too often relies on long arm. Could stand to take more direct angles and use bull rush move more effectively. Could use space better, condense angles. Want to see him try to win inside more. Feet can slow as he's about to use hands as a rusher. Inconsistent leverage in his pass rush. Can disguise rush angles better. Hips give away his plan early, and want to see him rush from wide more often. And in the review, I show probably all of those, if not 90% of those in plays. So I know it's a very long list, but the actual list. NY Jets Mets Nick Survivor. What do you think of Christian Watson? I think he is an athlete who's going to be overdrafted in high in the second round. I think there's a lot to like there in terms of him hitting his ceiling if he does. But from what I've seen and what I've heard from people I trust, he's being way overvalued because of athleticism. So, worth the fight Walker was doing at a really high level, exactly what Georgia coaches asked him to do in their defense. Not sure how that's a bad thing or not good. Sal will turn him loose against the backfield. That's the thing too. Like he wasn't let loose as like a 9-7 tech at Georgia and just asked him to get to the passer. Like they had an intricate scheme where he wasn't always just pinning ears back. So people look at the sacks and the stats, but there's projection there in terms of what he could do in a full-time role, but it's a good point. I brought that up before. Need more adjectives? Do you like or dislike the Jets taking safeties and making them linebackers? I don't hate it. I like the Hamza pick. I did not like the Sherwood pick. I was out on Sherwood very, very early. I watched him and people were, great pick, slam dunk, 5th round pick, whatever he was. And Sherwood to me is a bad athlete as a linebacker. Like, he's not an average athlete as a linebacker. So I was not, that was that was probably the worst pick of the draft for me. Not with it. Rusty always promoting. I was gonna call him Eric because I don't know how to pronounce the last name, and Kyle Phillips in months. So hopefully they work out. We'll see. Opal and Pryor were Rex picks. Yep. 35 and 38 gets the Jets up to 15 or 16. Again, if they don't grab a receiver at 4 or probably 10, if they love London and they're willing to trade up to 15 and 16 to get him for 35 and 38, obviously we want those picks. We hope a guy falls, but I'm not willing to do it with Zach Wilson. Going to a second year, huge year, I would be more than willing. You're telling me 35 and 38 for London after getting, let's say, Sauce and Karlaftis or Hutchinson, or not Hutchinson, or Thibodeau and pencil in whoever you want at 10. At that point, I'll be doing it. Sam Carr got paid. That was last night, right? Yeah, $40 million, right? I don't know exactly what the guarantees are, but that's a going rate for a plus starter right now. Probably maybe a little bit of an overpay. I like Carr. I agree with Rusty. He's probably a little bit overlooked. But 40, yeah, it's ridiculously high. Or not ridiculous. That's just crazy still. Nasruddin, yeah, I like him. Sherwood couldn't tackle Jalen Reagor. Sherwood is a bad athlete. He just is. Okay. I guess let's do 139, 743. Might end a little early tonight. Usually I do like 3 hours, but me getting off early, eating, and then going to sleep would be not a bad thing. I guess. Oh, let me see this question. Cans, what do you think about Kenneth Walker 3 at 69? Didn't pop up on my screen yet, but I see it on the YouTube chat. Pull it right here. I think he's legitimately a second-round guy. So if you're telling me I can get a second-round running back at 69, I think that's probably the earliest I'm willing to take a running back. So I'll be willing. Again, how does the rest of the draft fall? Like if they address linebacker, safety, D-end, receiver at that point with the other picks, I'll be willing. That's definitely the earliest I'm willing to do it, though. 35 and 69 gets the Jets at 21-23. Thanks for you're looking at the draft chart. That's good info. So you're looking at 35 and 69, 21 and 23 for, I think, best case scenario, like Garrett Wilson's there, and you trade up for him. Maybe Olave, maybe if Williams falls, you trade up that far. I don't think London would fall that far, in my opinion. So I would be more willing or more happy with a trade up of 35 and 69 than 35 and 38. So I think there's gonna be really good players there at 38. But I think it does. They do trade up if they don't land that receiver. Joe Lowe's, is it just me or the Sam does not have a viable Sam on the starting roster? Yeah, no, they don't have a reliable Sam or Will. They have a Mike. So, Joe, you mentioned to remind you about my comment on your London review. I should have said let me pull that up real quick. So, to answer that, London, Mike says, I like the way he combines, and this is about London. I like the way he combines the use of his stride and upper body to manipulate the defender consistently. Yes. I like his physicality, especially at the catch point. Yes. Which definitely gives him yak potential in my eyes. He has yak. He already showed it in college, but yes, he's physical and he has good balance for a guy his size. And he wants it. So I agree with that. My main questions with him are, will more athletic NFL corners feel threatened consistently? Will more athletic NFL corners feel threatened consistently enough by his speed to manipulate them the same way he did at college level? No, guys will run their feet more and stay more square, but I think he has a physicality to win in his routes and his route running ability. Like, again, you could say the same thing. Like, okay, Mike Evans, Mike Williams are not burners, but if you run good routes, you press guys, you get on their toes. You're good in terms of like getting over your break and stop steps, getting over your drives, all that, like the stuff we talk about. Then he'll get open enough. So the corner's obviously gonna be better. It's gonna be harder. And how will the ankle injury affect him? That's for the Jets coaches to decide, the Jets staff to decide. I know my opinion on the injury, especially when compared to ACLs of Williams, seems to differ from yours. is a big question for me at this size and athletic profile. I rather have guys who have bone breaks than guys who have soft tissue injuries. You see soft tissue injuries pop up all the time. It's not necessarily the easiest to just to snap an ankle in half, unless you fall a very certain way. Like you can have a guy who's running a curl and tear his ACL. So I'd rather have the bone breaks. But Mike definitely favors the upside of Williams and view him as a better prospect. Same for me if the medicals are clean. As much as I don't put a lot into college stats, they're a very disconcerting stat about a contested catch percentage that puts him in clear association with Mims, Rager, Arcega, Whiteside, N'Keal Harry. With that said, I think you have perfectly fair assessment. Okay, so the thing about like stats, I'm not the biggest follower of stats, but I know that Matt Harmon, who is everybody's like receiver guru in terms of stats, just put London as like his receiver 1. So it depends on what stats you want to look at. I'm not the biggest on stats though. Thanks for the sponsor. I don't have to trust your judgment on these players. Appreciate that, man. Okay. It's the ankle joint I worry about, but I understand. Yeah. So again, like I'm not assuming you're not a doctor. I don't think you are. So I don't, that's for them to decide. Let's see, get back into the chat. Okay. Take another question. Let's do a mock draft. You guys are going to control the entire thing. Again, I know people are kind of done with the mock draft. I don't really do them a lot on here, but let's do it. It's 7:47. I don't really have a lot to talk about. The chat is kind of dwindling. But for the diehards in here, you guys are gonna pick. I'll put up polls. I'll do all that shit, and we'll do it. We'll do it. 35, 69 could be Brisker, Ruckert. You want to give up them for one wide receiver bet. 21-38. So I think 69 is probably a little high for Ruckert, to be completely honest, Kev. And 38, I'm cool with Brisker. But the thing is, I'm not like I rather pick wide receiver at 10 or trade down a few to get a receiver. Okay, but what happens if it's Sauce at 4 and then Carl Lawson sitting at 10? Okay, so let's say that happens. And then do you want to just wait for a guy at 35? What if 6, 7 receivers go? And then you're sitting there with an option the Jets don't like. Like, we can't just assume the Jets like Pickens. We can't assume they like Watson. We can't assume they like Dotson. Like, what if they're looking for different guys? So every receiver's not the same. We have 8, 9, 10 guys we would love in the top 38. What if the Jets have 6 and all 6 gone by 35? I'm not willing to do it. So yeah, I would trade up pick 69 for a receiver easily. If we don't take a receiver at 10, it would break my heart. Yeah, it depends on what happens in terms of trading back up or a trade potentially. So, what do you guys prefer? So let's do. I was going to do call-ins, but again, I don't think you guys are feeling the call-ins, which is fine, at least right now. Again, the draft. We'll do a mock. Like I said, night 1 of the draft, I'll be on later in the draft after day 2, 3 streaming. Marcus Coleman coming on next Wednesday. With that all being said, next week Kyle's on. We're going to do a mock draft with him. And then the last week, the day before the draft, I'll be on with Marcus Coleman, and we'll be chopping with you guys, maybe another quick mock. But let's just do it because there's not much else to do right now. 112. We're dropping. Nobody wants to do a mock draft. If you guys don't want to do a mock draft, I could just I could bounce. Let's see. Lou Chandler, KT at 4, Jameson at 10. I don't care what we do after that. Trust in JD. Trust in JD will have gone through the mother. Yeah. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. Cool with that. Do you guys prefer, I know last time we did PFN. Do you guys prefer PFN? Do you guys prefer mock draft database? Do you prefer draft network? Do you prefer PFF? Like, is there a thing? Luke Chandler, bring on a mock. Yeah, no. Are you going to break out the imported on draft day? We're talking about beers, like imported beers. I'll have something. Let's see. I gotta pull up my YouTube real quick. This is gonna be all you guys, the 110 people in here. This is gonna be literally all you. You guys are going to. I'm gonna talk through it. It's going to be all your picks, though. It's all gonna be voted on. Next week with Kyle, it's gonna be me and Kyle. Maybe I do one the last day before the draft, and that's gonna be all me. So, but for now, this is all you guys. So you guys control it. You have database. Joe Nelson, let's do a mock, but what you do though, I'm gonna do that the day before the draft. This is for you guys. The 111 dedicated. I know this is like the dry time right now. It really is. TDN is more realistic rankings. Okay, let's just do this. I'm going to go to the video. We're on. This is like the dry time right now. See, this is why I got to turn your volume down. Make polls, Socrates. I am. Good job. Poll. Ryan showed me how to do this. Or no, you guys showed me how to do this, right? Which site? Question mark. Add option. Add option. We got TD, or no. Yeah, the Draft Network. We have PFF, mock draft data, we'll call it. And then PFN. I'm asking you guys. You guys let me know. And then we'll do it. And then I'm going to bounce. Maybe, again, if this draft sucks, it's all on you guys. Not my fault. Ben staying for the mock. Rusty loves mocks. Drew Macabre, you should pick people in the chat to make the pick individually. Yeah, but then everybody's going to, what if everybody hates that person? Verge, whatever the most realistic one, because these things get silly to do. I don't really know enough about them. Lou Chandler. Yeah, Lou, I talked about that before. What do you think of Mel's latest? KT, London, cool. Linderbaum, I'm going to trade up, not doing it. And Hall, I'm not thinking running back at 38. I can't do it. Damn. Okay. Right now, I'll give it literally like 10 more seconds. PFF is blowing the other ones away. Blowing it away. 42. Guess it's PFF. All right, fellas. Yeah, I don't do a ton of mock draft. I know like there's people literally doing mock drafts forever. We've probably done like 2 or 3 on this channel. But again, right now with it being dry, let's just do it. And this is I kind of want to do this anyway because I want to see your guys' opinion and like who the majority of Jets fans want. Next week we're going to be Kyle and I discussing it, you guys having a little bit of input, and then the last one, again, 3 in a row. I know it's a lot, but it is what it is. 3-hour shows. I can do a mock draft for an hour. The last one's gonna be me. Like that's gonna be me / what I think the Jets will do. Like kind of like really like try to make it really, really realistic. Maybe I'll trade up, maybe not. But I don't know. Okay. So round 7, right? Let's pull the speed a little bit down. Oh, here, I'll share the screen. My bad, guys. Share screen. Entire screen, share. All right. So now we're here. Now we are here. I hope I don't screw this up. I don't know if I've ever done a PFF one, to be honest. I've done the Draft Network. I've done PFN. I don't know if I've done this one or mock draft database. But I hear people talking about them, so I don't know. Am I screwing anything up? 5 rounds. Yeah, but Richard Hickey, what if somebody trades me something? Right? Like what if I get a 7th round pick? 4th, click them, speed slow, 7 rounds. Am I fucking anything up? You guys know better than I do. Nobody's telling me. All right, well, let's hope I have it right here. Enter the draft. And this is all you guys. Like I said. Start. Oh Jesus, that went real fast. Okay, so literally the worst case scenario happened. The worst case scenario. So what are you guys doing in the worst case scenario? Because this is it to me. Hutchinson, Thib, and Walker going. Oh my God. I think it's hilarious that the needs for they're doing them dirty. Their needs every position. The Jets' top needs being receiver, linebacker, corner. Corner's a bigger need over edge. Like, what are we talking about here? Safety? No. So trade back. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do now, guys. Again, this is all for you guys. Pull. You guys are. I'm just going to pull you to the screen. You guys can see everything anyway, right? Oh shit. And pull. Oh shit. Hold on. I'm screwing up, guys. I wish I could do this. The polls on my phone. Oh, let's what we'll do first. Again, I'm not the cleanest with this. So the trades, how does this work? Somebody tell me how the trades work. Are they offering me anything? Or they want to trade? Are they like interested in trading? So you just, is that what it is? Make your own. Oh, I'm gonna screw this all up. We trade with the Commanders. Oh, all right. So this is what we're gonna do. We'll do trade or player. Create a poll. Trade or player. Trade. Player. All you guys are gonna vote for trade, but then how the hell are we gonna do trades? They didn't even offer trades. I'm gonna do this like 3 seconds because I know you guys are all gonna say trade. Make your own. Trade. Yes, interested. Maxwell, and it shows the percent chance they'll accept. Just select what you want, and they'll may or may not accept it. I only use TDN Simulator. Trade the Commanders. No trade, no trades. Wow. Players winning at 54. Again, this is you guys. This is not me. I'm not making any picks here. I'm going to talk through it. I'll wait till I get to like 40 votes. We're at 25 right now. Or maybe it's not. Maybe people don't give a shit enough to even vote right now. 31 votes. 9 more votes. Players 55. I'll call it if trade needs to win out pretty much right now for it to beat it. 33, 48 to 52. Oh shit. 7 more people. That is as close as it gets. 36 votes, 50-50. 4 more votes. It is 50-50 right now, which is ridiculous. 36 votes. I'm waiting for 4 more. The screen, though. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. There you go. Maybe I can go like this. Hold on. I'll try to. Oh, my phone is dying now. Yeah, I gotta do it like that. I'm sorry, guys. Unless I go grab my charger. Fix the screen. Yo, it's literally it's how do I do this? It's 50-50 trade player. The next vote I see, player 51% done. Okay. That's it. It's a player. Now who are we taking? Again, don't get mad at me. This is all you guys. Right now, I think realistically, we are going to oh shit. I'm sorry, I'm not very good with this simulator. It is going to be a choice between we're going to do I'm going to give you the four most realistic guys here. It's going to be Walker, Karlaftis, Ekwonu, and Hamilton. Right? I think that's it. I at least again that's the only thing I'm really doing for you guys is just kind of putting this in here. Who? Ham, Carl, and we have Ham, Carl. Who else did I say? Ickham, and Walker. All right, up to you guys now. I'm gonna put the 4 options again, the most realistic ones, but that's for you guys to decide. This is what I'm gonna do too. 2 seconds. I'm gonna make this much cleaner. I am going to go grab a charter. Just don't literally 20 seconds. Be back in a second. All right, we're back. I'm gonna log into. I'm gonna do the votes on my phone, so you guys don't have to see the whole screen. Okay. Sloppy. Who is winning right now? Okay, JetX. I'm on that. Oh, You guys are right. I didn't realize JJ was in there. He's not going to, he wouldn't win anyway, I don't think. Did I make a poll? Oh, Walker's at 63. Okay. We are going to call it then, right? Yeah. All right. Walker's a pick. Again, this is you guys, not me. The only other option would be JJ there, but I'm not going to allow it anyway. All right. We have, oh, yeah. How do I scroll up here? We had Walker at 4. Again, this is literally the least ideal situation for the Jets, in my opinion. And Walker, I think, would probably be the pick at that point. I think they would take him over AJ just because of the athletic ceiling. Icky went 5, Hamilton 6, Stingley 7. Wow. Neal at 8. Okay, Garrett Wilson at 9. So who are you guys feeling? I'm gonna kind of feel out the chat a little bit. We have London, Bust, JJ. Yeah, dude. This is you guys. EF saying, "Excuse me while I vomit." You guys voted on it. I didn't vote. This is literally all you. You guys want to trade down here? You guys want to take a receiver? I'll kind of feel out the pick first. Wide receiver. Okay, wide receiver. You guys want wide receiver? I will put. I'll put a receiver. Yeah. Okay. You guys. This is. I don't want to have to put trade as an option. I'm going to make. Can you not make polls on a phone? You gotta be kidding me. Nope. I guess you can't make a polls on a phone. That sucks. Oh, that's what I could do. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Remove. Stop screen. Share. Window. Chrome tab. Oh, okay. I could do that. Is that working? McDuffie, trade back, no trade. Yeah, I think the chat more wants the trade than anything else. So, or I mean the receivers. We're gonna put Jameson Williams, right? We have Williams and who else? Williams, London, Olave, Burks. I'll put them all in there. That's what I'm seeing most in the chat. So again, this is run by you guys, not me. Not me. I know who I would take here. I definitely know who I would take. All right. Poll is going up in 2 seconds here. Poll. Receiver. London. Williams. Burks. Yuck. And Olave. Personally, somebody asked what I would take. I would take London here, to be honest. Oh, fix the screen. Yeah, that's my fault, fellas. My fault, fellas. Sorry. You guys know I'm not the most technically sound, proficient, clean guy. I like talking football, but when it comes to organizing screens and putting up receivers and doing all this shit, you guys are shit out of luck. You're shit out of luck. It's not me. Rusty Spooner says, Dean, honestly, Rusty, in a situation like this, I would want to take a receiver, but everything being equal, I think Dean's better player than all these guys. But they're kind of forcing their hand a little bit. I would take London too. Walker's a big swing. Got to go safe here. Sky Moore at 10. Phil C. At 10. All right, let's see. Wow. Williams versus London, 49-51 with Burks at 0 and Olave at 0. I must have. I don't know if you guys changed your opinion of Burks because of me, but I think a couple of months ago it might have been a little bit different with Burks. He's literally at 0%. Olave's at 0%. So 43. London 53. Burks will. I'll wait for another like 10 seconds. So Williams at 58. Wow, I'm surprised. I am surprised. Let's see another like 2 seconds. Let's see if it changes at all. 50. Yeah, okay. You guys want Williams. It's Williams. You guys are running the draft. 2 riskier picks, Williams and hold on. Do you guys want to trade? No, we're not doing trades up. We're just drafting. We got our receiver. Don't need to trade up for anything. Yeah, 2 riskier picks here, but it is what it is. That's what you guys wanted. Now we have an edge. We have a receiver. So at this point, I'm going to assume you guys want receiver or I'm assuming you guys want safety, linebacker, right? Or am I wrong? Yeah, linebacker. We can take a corner. I know. What's his face? I know Rusty is gonna go for his boy right here, and McCreary, right? McCreary's your boy. Let's see, Daxton Hill, Boye Mafe, Elam. It seems relatively realistic. Kobe Dean at 24. That's a steal. Devontae Wyatt, yeah. Booth, yeah. This doesn't seem that bad, but similar actually. It seems a little bit more realistic than PFN. Safety, linebacker. No, McBride didn't go. Brisker, grab Hill. Hill is gone. Leo. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do too. Now I'm gonna do a vote on the position group. Killing some time here. Let's go. 100 strong. I'll take it. I'll take it for this. Okay. Position. Linebacker. Earth Brooks, appreciate the super chat. You should get some computer guys to help you with technical stuff like Dave Gettleman did. Yeah, I probably need some help, right? You know, I'm not the best at this stuff. Especially doing I'm not used to doing mock drafts and all this. I don't know if I've ever done PFF. At least this year I haven't. You guys vote on the position. I didn't put D tackle in there. I'm sorry, Kev Chada, but I put linebacker, safety, corner. I'll end it real quick. I'll put D tackle in there. You said it. This is your mock draft. Position, linebacker, safety, cornerback, D tackle. I put the vote up, and then I'll show some of the positions so you guys could see. We're not gonna do any trades. It's just too much. So this one, like PFN, that's the only thing I like better is like they offer it to you, so it's a little bit easier. Oops, it's a little bit easier than having to offer and do all this stuff. It's a little bit too much for me at this point. But at corner, I think Petrie's more of a safety, but we got Petrie, we got McCreary, we got Gordon. I think are all second round legit guys. Safety, Petrie, Brisker. Oh, that's why it's doing that. Okay, hold on. B-line, and what else can we filter? Linebacker. All right, so these are the guys at the top of the board for each position. Petrie, Chanel, Brisker, Brian Asamoah, Travis Jones, Muma, Harris, Hall, McCreary, Gordon, Troy Anderson, Brandon Smith. A lot of good guys at 35. Let's see who you guys want. Linebacker is winning at 57 or 51. Okay. Linebacker it is. So now we have an option. Let's just do, we don't want a corner. We don't want a D-line. And we don't want a safety. Linebacker won the vote. Again, be mad at yourselves. Don't get mad at me. This mock draft sucks. Say, oh, I'm sorry. It's you guys voted for it. I know Leo's going to be there. I know Muma. I know Harris. I don't know if you guys like Asamoah or Troy Anderson. Asamoah was higher in this one. So I will put him in there. Yeah, I guess I'll put him in there, right? Muma, Chanel. Okay, yeah. It's going to be between Muma and Chanel and Harris anyway. So those are the three guys I'll put up because I don't think any of the other guys you guys are going to care about too much anyway. So Poll, linebacker, Chanel, Muma, and Harris. Get a linebacker, which is, again, a big need for me. Big need. So I'm 100% down for a linebacker here, especially if you get sit. Like, the thing is, we miss on corner. The only reason I'm willing to take corner at 4 is because of how good of a prospect Gardner is to me. But if you're talking about corners in like the second, 35, 38, 69, I'm not really overly down for it because I don't think any of those guys are going to be down, like going to beat out Bryce Hall. Now, if you want a guy like 69, like a Woolen, like who can take a shot on a really high RAS score, okay, cool. But overall, it falls much lower on my needs now because you didn't get the top guy. That's the only way I'm doing it. So Harris at 38, 37, 31, 31, Muma and him. So we have a close list here. Kev Chada says, don't think Chanel is good in coverage. Muma is. I think, dude, yeah, but I don't know enough. Phil C says Bama linebackers can't miss. NY Bully says Harris. Muma, dude, this is like completely split. 33, 31, 36 is the vote. I will close it out at 40 again, I guess. I don't know. 35, 32, 32. You guys are ridiculously split. So there'll be people who hate this, but I honestly thought it would be Muma from what I've heard from a lot of people. Out of you guys, like just who listen. But Harris won. So it just went to 33, 33, 33. That is ridiculous. Okay, damn. All right. If I see the next linebacker I see in the chat, the next two, yeah, I'm picking. It's okay. I agree, Ben Collins. At this point, it's literally split. I'm going to take who I've seen the most of and heard the most of. Senior Bowl guy. I'm taking Muma. It is what it is. You guys are literally split. There's nothing I can do there. Now the next position, I'm sure you guys are going to want the same thing we kind of did last time, which was a choice between safety, corner, and D lineman, right? Corner and D tackle. I'm sorry, Rusty. I know I didn't take your guy and Chanel, but I've heard more about Muma. So it is what it is. I think I know who's going to win here. Corner, safety, D lineman. Okay, put it in the vote. To a vote. Position. D line. Cornerback. Safety. Yeah, I'm moving a little bit fast, but it is what it is. I think you guys are going to vote for Brisker, to be honest, right? I don't see you guys voting for not Brisker, but we'll put up a vote. D tackle. Chanel from Mike Cos says Chanel answers our linebacker needs now and in the future. Yeah, again, I don't have a preference between Chanel, Muma, and Harris. I have to watch more, but I think they're all going to fall in that range. So I know people have their flavors and stuff like that. And once I watch them, or if I watch all of them, I know I'd have a preference, but I get it. All good from Rusty. George does not like Brisker at 38. All right. Safety is blowing out the other positions, so it's a safety. Now, which safety is it? We are going to take a look. It is going to be. Let's just look at it. It's Petrie, Brisker, or is there anybody else down here? Kirby Joseph. He's not. You guys aren't going to vote for him. So it's going to be Brisker or Petrie. That's going to be up to you guys now. And McBride, me Joe. Safety. Brisker, Petrie. You guys tell me. Oh, George. No, I said I don't see him there for us at 38. He'll be gone. Oh, okay. Got you, George. I thought you meant like you wouldn't like him at 38. He could be. We literally never know. Literally never know. So, just assuming this is real life and this happens, you guys are collectively Joe Douglas. This is all you guys. So I don't know. Verge Ship says Kirby Joseph in the fourth. It seems like on this site he's going to go a lot earlier. Petrie played from the slot a lot. That if that changes your mind, Petrie is more of a slot cornerback. That's what you guys are saying. I saw Petrie can play slot, but I've also heard he's a safety. Like he can play either one. So that's up to you guys to vote, not me. Brisker won. And I've heard both. Like I'm curious who you guys are getting your stuff from, because I've heard the same. I've heard that people say Brisker is a box guy, and I've heard people say no, he's definitely a high guy. So which one is it? But Brisker is the pick. Brisker is the pick. All right, so we filled safety, linebacker, receiver, and edge. So we're filling needs pretty well here, to be honest. Now, in terms of the board here, doesn't look like so our biggest needs right now: linebacker, safety. I would say another corner, tight end, running back. At this point, would you guys want running back, tackle? Let me see what the chat looks like. Petrie, is Brisker a free safety? That's what I've heard. Brisker is definitely a box guy. Played most of his snaps in the box, says Aaron. I'd be really curious if they draft him to see now. Cornerback at 69, Cam Jurgens at 69, running back, OT, corner. Damn. Okay, so based on what you guys are saying, I think these are probably the top positions. So running back, offensive tackle, corner, said Rusty, I believe. We still have D tackle though too. Let's do D tackle. These would be the top guys. Kennard, who I think is more of a guard, right? I could be wrong. Again, I'm not gonna tell you guys I know about some of these guys when I don't. Deach, tackle. Damian Pierce, Fulele, Max, Marcus Jones, Zach Tom, Algier, James Cook, Walker. Mathis is 107. I thought Mathis was going to be higher than that. Brian Robinson, Tyreek Woolen. Okay. You guys have seen some of the positions. Again, running through it pretty quickly. Position. We have corner. We have running back. We have D-line. And we have offensive tackle. You guys tell me. Emerson is gone. Woolen. I know Rusty wants Woolen. Somebody says Emerson. Somebody says we need a center. I would argue, Bully, or I would say that we need a backup tackle more than a center. Like, I'm much more comfortable with McGovern making 16, 17 starts with, and then with Feeney as a backup than I am at tackle with, primary backup being frickin' Adoga and what's his face? McDermott. So up to you guys. Tackle. Blown it out of the water so far. Early though. It's only 22 votes in. I'll wait till 30. Again, I want to close it out, or I want to get through this. I don't want to spend all night on it. 22. Tackle. Yeah, tackle one. All right. Tackle it is. That's you guys again. So now the tackles would be, let's do one of Nard. I think he's more of a guard / tackle, but that's up to you guys. Kellen Deesh, Lele, and I know he's been shooting up boards, but still, I think he's more just athletic than natural player right now. Petit Frere, Lele. These are the top names I'm doing. I'm going to spell them massively wrong because I don't know. I can't spell these guys' names. Zach Tom, goddamn, if those tackles. Joe, are you going to grade us afterwards? Yes, I am. People want tackles, so let's get Cole Strange. Zach Tom, Matt. Okay, Falele. All right, you guys are all throwing out names, but I'm just going to say which one because that's the vote. So, Falele? Question mark? I don't know how to spell his name. Who are the other guys? Kennard Deesh. Kennard. I spelled that so wrong. And then we'll do OSU guy because I don't know how to spell his name. All right, there you go. Kennard can play multiple O-line positions, says Rusty. Yeah, I know he played tackle at Kentucky, right? But people are projecting him more to be a guard. So if you're liking a guy who could play both as a backup guy, it's cool. How do you write tickets, Joe? I don't know. I don't know. Kennard got tossed by JJ. Yeah. Joe, you and Kyle aren't too high on Uzama. Huh? So Phil, it's not that I'm not high on Uzama. I think that he got what his contract maybe is a little bit too high for him. $7-8 million, cool. I think he's a below average to average starting tight end in the league, which is much better than they've had in years. So I like him. I just don't want people to think he's some stud tight end. Like he's solid. That's fine. So Falale's footwork is terrible. 24 Kennard took the early lead and is blowing everybody out. So Kennard it is. Tackle guard hybrid. Okay, so address the offensive line. Cool with me. I think that's not a bad pick, to be completely honest. Now we have a little bit of a wait. So we've got offensive lineman that we needed. We could still take an interior guy later, center maybe. We have a linebacker. We have a safety. We have a receiver. We have an edge. We're hitting holes. So at this point, I'm going to say it's the similar positions that we had before. I would say running back. Let's see. Running back, Ruckert. Running back, tight end, Weidemeyer. Fall from grace for that guy, huh? Running back, tight end. We'll put D tackle in here. What are you guys saying in the chat? I'm going to grade you. Okay. Kennard. Yeah. Deesh. Okay. His footwork. Running back, wide receiver, running back, tight end, running back, tight end, running back or tight end, running back or tight end, D tackle. Okay. Running back, D tackle, tight end, corner. Yeah, I think that's a good list, beloved piece. I think that's a good list. Position. Oh, George Galvis, Kobe Bryant, underrated as fuck. Yeah, he fell a little bit because of the combine, right? But overall, I think he's decent from what I've seen. He fell a lot, so maybe he's worth it if he's here. Tight end and cornerback. This is what you guys asked for, and this is what you shall receive. Rusty loves tight end Otten here. I think you'll get beat out by what's his face though. If people are gonna take tight end, it's gonna be Ruckert, I would assume. D tackle. Running back. Real early lead. What is webcams? XYZ dating adult chat 18 plus. Who's gonna go to it? Who's gonna be the guy? Who's gonna take that chance? Somebody do it. Let us all know if it's good. How the report? Can I report this? Pornography? Okay. Running back and tight end are tied. Dead tied. So I'll go to 30 votes. We have 6 votes left, and we'll see. Block spam. Yeah, Joe, go to it. When I go to it, I'll share the screen and see what happens. Joel, I volunteer as tribute. Go ahead, Joel. Let us know what happens. Maybe you figure out a site that, it's going to overtake some of those sites we all use, with the shower on. It's still 38%. Are you kidding me? One more vote. Running back won. I said 30. It won. Okay, running backs. We have Algier, Brian Robinson, Kyron Williams, Jerome Ford. Is there anybody else down here I know you guys would like? Quandre Wright, Pierre Strong, Big Body Robinson. All right, let's see. I'm going to filter the running backs, and I'll kind of fill out the chat a little bit. Algier, Robinson definitely in there. Ford is definitely in there. I don't know if you guys want Williams, White, Strong, Rashad White. Is he really that low in this? He's supposed to be like there's people talk about him like 69 or 111, right? Yeah, okay. So it's we're talking, or unless I'm wrong, right? I don't think so. It's White. Where's Cooks? Are we talking about Cooks? That's gonna confuse the shit out of people. There's 3 Whites. All right. Okay. Polls going up. It's running back. We are doing White. It's the right from Arizona State, right? Robinson, Ford, and Algier. I'm gonna spell Algier wrong, but it is what it is. Algier. White looks kind of slow. Yeah, PFF. That's a weird. I've seen a lot of people being really high on White from Arizona State, but D tackle and cornerback is more premium positions than running back. Kev Trotter says, I would. So yeah, corner, but at this point, you take a corner at 111, 118, wherever the hell we are. Are they even going to play? Where I'd argue that the running back we take here is going to play a good amount of snaps. He's going to see 10 to 15 snaps in games. And if Michael Carter's out, then he's going to see a ton of snaps. D tackle at this point too, he's a backup. Like the running back we take here is going to play more than any D tackle or corner we'd play, obviously assuming all things being equal. Algier is winning. Wow. That's another. I am surprised by the chat right now. Ben Collins says, you my guy now, Rusty Spooner. I am honestly surprised. Out of this whole group, I would think, based on what I've heard from you guys and seeing the chat and like just overall, I thought Algier would be probably the last. And he's first. Wow. All right. Algier. Okay. It's Algier. You guys voted. We got Algier. I would probably take Ford, Robinson, and White over him, but this is what you guys want. Needs. Okay, so at this point we have D lineman, right? Because what was the vote last time? It was D lineman, corner, tight end. Is there any tight ends we see worth here? Ruckert is still here, dude. Honestly, another thing I wouldn't be afraid of doing with the Jets getting more picks, I wouldn't be opposed to them getting 2 running backs. Like if they got Algier and then Robinson was sitting there with the next pick, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like that's something people think I'm crazy for, but I like some of the running backs here a lot. But let's do D linemen. Let's just assume these are D tackle. They're D tackles, which they are. But I don't know a lot about them, so let's just assume D tackle, tight end, and corner. Sound good to you guys? Chat, what you guys saying? Tight end, D tackle, corner. Tight end. Joe, let's be serious. Are you giving us an F? We'll see. Jelani Woods, is he here? Okay, so let's do this. Let's scroll back up. I'm not gonna give you guys an F. Come on. Okay, so we said tight end. What else did you guys say? Tyler over Robinson. Shake my head. Yeah, I would take Robinson too, George, but it is what it is. Corner and D lineman. Cordell Flott, no idea who you are. Butler, I've heard of him. Farrell, never heard of him. Ruckert, love it. Joby, cool. Tyreek Castro Field, did he get a high RAS or am I wrong? Kobe Bryant here is crazy. The fact that he's falling this far. I would probably run to the board for Kobe Bryant right here, to be honest. Michael Wright, James Mitchell, Okwanu, or whatever the hell his name is. Jake Ferguson, Kolar. Wow. And Ruckert. Wow. Okay, yeah, there's some good players here. So we're doing tight end, D tackle, and corner because there's legitimate good players at all those positions. That is intriguing. Position. D tackle. Cornerback, Kobe Bryant, probably. And tight end. Cornerback, Rusty wants D tackle. D is going all offense this draft. All right. Polls up. You guys let me know. Jake Ferguson here, start running to the podium. Yeah, dude, Jake Ferguson here. What's his face? Ruckert here is a really good pick. Like having Ruckert, like a hometown kid, Jets fan, I'd be cool with it. Marlon says Algier is 224 lives, a bit heavier load than all the other running backs. That kind of fits our running back. Yeah, no, I think Ford's more of a power guy, and so is Robinson though too. So I think they all kind of fit. But I get it. You guys have tight end and cornerback are battling. Let's see how it goes next couple of votes. But right now it's 44-37 tight end the corner. So let's see. 45-38. It's close with tight end and corner. Okay, tight end 1. I always go to 30 votes. Tight end 1. So we have in the simulator the tight ends. I'll put the top couple up are going to be Ruckert, Kate Otten. I don't know who the hell this Grant is. I'll put him in there because he's high on this one. I don't know who he is though. Ruckert, Kate Otten. Okwanu, whatever. I've heard of him, so I'll do him. Let's see. Screw Wademeyer. He's not an option. I don't care what you guys say. Grant, Ruckert, Otten, and no, it's those 3. Ruckert, Otten, and Grant. That's what we're doing. That's what we are doing. The tight end is going to be Ruckert's going to win. Or no, Ferguson was there too, right? Am I crazy? Hold on. He went, right? He had to have gone. Oh, Jelani Woods just went too. That sucks. The pick before. Hold on. Pump the brakes. Is Ferguson still here? Why is he so low in the rankings? Because he had a bad combine? Oh, dude. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and so it's Ferguson, Kolar, because I've heard of those guys. Otten and Ruckert. Those are the guys. That's the vote. That's the real vote. Otten, Ruckert, Ferg, and who was the other guy I just said? I blanked out already. Ruckert, Otten. Oh, Kolar too. I know people like Kolar, so I'll put him in there. All right, first one, 30 votes. Do it. Let's see what you guys want. Kolar, Ferguson, Ruckert. You guys are out on Ruckert now? What's happened in the last couple of months? Surprising. Okay. Ruckert 62, 58. Oh, dude, blew him out of the water. Okay, Ruckert won. I can call that early. That was not even close. Okay, so Ruckert is coming to the Jets. Now our tight ends are stacked. Ruckert, freaking Uzama, and what's his face? Conklin. All right. We need a D tackle. So let's see. I guess what falls though. Okay. At this point, I would say interior offensive lineman, D tackle, running back's an option. Yeah, this is all up to you guys. You guys do. I know Green Bean. I know Ryan. I do 1,000 mock drafts. You guys know who these guys are more than me. Joseph Corker, I've heard of. I've heard of Wright. I thought he was a safety though. JT Woods, safety. McKinley's down here for them too. Wow, he must have had a bad RAS or something. Woods is a freak, right? So you guys tell me. Whatever I see most in the chat, I'll put up there. Wide receiver, D tackle, corner, D tackle, wide receiver, corner, D tackle, D tackle, D tackle, wide receiver, D lineman. Okay, that's what I'm doing. D tackle, corner, receiver. You guys tell me. Unless I see something else pop up in the chat. Is there any positions you want? Speak now because I'm putting it in the poll. Wide receiver, cornerback, and that's all I see. Safety. Okay, Nick's Integra. Yeah, true. Because JT Woods and stuff is there. You guys tell me. 30 votes. Let's see where it falls. Okay, you guys vote. I'm going to look. I'm going to look. I never heard of Cordell Flott. I really haven't. I've heard of Sanborn. I've heard of Knight. Price, I've heard of. Braxton Jones, heard of. Addy, heard of. Wright, Corker. I'm really surprised JT Woods is down there too, just based on what he scored. Bo Melton, not a bad guy. Marlon, we need to take a D tackle 2 rounds ago. I get it. That's you guys. And listen, like, to be honest, minus like tight end, we took a lot of positions of need. I don't think it's anything crazy. D tackle is 1. All right. D tackle. Who is it? Let's sort it out. It is going to be Ellis, Garrett, Ridgeway. I've heard of all those guys. Is there anybody down here I've heard? No. Who else do you guys want in there? You guys want anybody else? Ellis, McCall, Garrett, Ridgeway. Is that fair? Ridgeway, yeah. I've seen him too, Rusty. That's why I'm surprised he's below some of these guys. But we'll do Ridgeway, Garrett, Ellis, McCall. All right. I'm not going to remember all that. Booker. What are you talking about, Mike? D tackle. Ridge. Garrett. We had Ellis and McCall. Ellis, Sean, McCall. All right. There you go. No, we didn't. We had Marshall, Quinn, JFM, Phillips. So, George, the only thing I will say in terms of these D tackles, I would have to really watch them each individually. They need a run stuffer inside. Marshall's not a run stuffer. Q can do it, but obviously he can't play every rep. Rankins is not a run stuffer in any sense. Like they need a run stuffer. So that is what it is. 14 votes. Let's see. Get to 30, and then we'll call it. Ellis got nothing so far. McCall has 14. Ridgeway versus Garrett, pretty much 50 versus 36 in terms of the percentage wise. 17 votes. Ridgeway versus Garrett, 47-41. Garrett, people are closing it. Rusty, talk to your people. You're a Ridgeway guy. Ridgeway is a reliable monster, he says. 22 votes, 45%. It is deadlock even, with McCall getting probably 2 votes. Waiting on you guys. I'll either call it in a second or we have 23 votes. I'm betting somewhere in the draft. JD trades down. 24, Ridgeway. We'll do Ridgeway. The poll is slowing down. We'll do Ridgeway. He's a reliable monster. So that's who it is. So the only positions we haven't really hit yet are corner, which again, I think Hall, Eccles, Michael Carter II, and what's his face isn't the worst in terms of like a starting group. How am I blanking on this guy's name? We're talking about way too many names. Reed, jeez. Okay, took me a second. Who do you guys want with the last pick? And I'm gonna grade it. Running back, tackle. We already have a tackle, right? Running back, safety, Corker, Melton. He's far down. Smoke Monday. I literally have no idea what you guys are going to want here. Cornerback, wide receiver, fullback. George would have gone totally different. Yeah, I'm gonna do my own mock drafts and stuff. Got to be a kicker if we want to be the Bengals. I will put kicker, but I'll put kicker, receiver, whoever the hell this corner is. Okay, I'm going to do a bunch. I'm going to do 4. And then this is the last vote, and then we'll talk about it for a minute, and then I will get off. Running back, we'll do another running back. We'll do a receiver. We'll do a kicker. And Rusty says edge. We have a safety, though, too. I'll take kicker out of there. I'll be a little bit. Let's take edge. Okay, you guys do it. Corner. People want corner. And I didn't put corner in there. Shit. New poll. All right. So receiver. Everybody can say yes to receiver. Corner is definitely in the chat a lot. What else are you guys saying? Running back's definitely in the chat. And I don't know the other one. Edge. Rusty wants edge. We'll do an edge. That's fine. I don't think anybody's going to lose their minds over a pick at 160. All right. You guys tell me. I'll go to like 20, 30 votes and we'll talk about it. We'll get out of here. All right. Corner is winning handedly. So, oh, no, it's not. Corner 41, receiver 36. 8 more votes to go. I'm calling it. Vote, you sons of bitches. Running back, not even close. Edge, really not even close. It's because I didn't capitalize the in edge. It just makes it look weird. 24 votes. Corner is pulling away, but we have, I think we'd still, wow, yeah, 25. Okay, it's close. 5 more votes. I'm calling it. We are 4% difference from receiver to corner. Double up. 38 to 35, 26 votes, 4 votes left. 37, 33. I think if receiver gets all 3 votes, it will win. But will it? Kev Trotta, did you get the chance to view Sam Williams? Sam manhandled the Charles Cross. Isn't Sam Williams like really low RAS, like rusher from, is it Tennessee? Where is it, Kev? 36 receiver cornerback with 2 votes left. Edge at 21, but Edge is not going to win. Waiting. Ole Miss. Yeah, I've only heard a little bit about him, but I haven't watched, Kev. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you about that stuff. 29 votes, 34 receiver corner. The next vote for either one will win. That is ridiculous. 1 vote. Who's it gonna be? I cannot wait for the draft this year. You're gonna actually talk about these freaking guys. Someone just voted Edge. I know. Just being pricks. 1 more vote. We're waiting on 1 vote, people. Receiver got 2 votes to end. Wow. Okay. Receiver it is. Who are we taking? Receiver. Bo Melton. I don't know any of these guys. Ty Froggle. Embo. Oh, dude. I know who's going to win. Rusty, how is your guy this low? PFN, he's like 100. How is he 317 in their rankings? Okay, so it's Eric versus Robertson versus Melton versus Johnson. That's what I'll do. I am surprised. I'm assuming his name is Eric, because I don't know how to spell his last name. I know who Rusty's voting for. Melton and Robertson. You guys probably have your preferences again. I don't really know these guys very well. And Johnson. Community, you tell me. Bo Melton. Yeah. Steven Angle. George just texted me, actually. I don't know what he said, though. He sent me some picture or something. I can't read it right now. Oh yeah. Okay. So it's gonna be a race for Melton versus Eric. You come on, whatever the hell his name is. Bo Melton. Speedster. Rutgers. Home guy. Trade down. No, Kev, I'm not doing more. I don't want to do more picks right now. I'm done with this mock draft already. 50 to 45 with 20 votes left. Melton is in the lead by 5%. And Eric took the lead, 52 to 43, 7 votes left. Say no to Bo, Lou Chandler. Why is that? 52, 48, 48, of course. I think people just vote to tie it. I don't think people vote because I think people just like to make it close. It's like you get a rush or something. I don't know. 26 votes, 4 votes left. Melton is winning by 4%. So that's 1 vote. Yeah, he is. Yeah. 46 to 50, 4 votes left. Bo knows. Hit the like button. Good show. Yeah, Kel, I know people don't love mock drafts, but again, we were kind of already running dry for 2 hours. So I said, fuck it. Why not? We're gonna do a mock draft. I am excited to talk to you guys draft night with Marcus on, all that stuff. I'm excited to really break down these guys, pull plays, strengths and weaknesses, all this stuff for you instead of just talking about what ifs. I know people, after the season, we get through free agency, then it really kicks up with the draft. And then past that, like the last 2-3 weeks, like people just couldn't give a shit more about the draft. Like, let's just get it done. I know how you feel because I feel the same way. Bo Melton won. I am sorry, Rusty. Blame the chat. You haven't influenced enough people with the chat. Is what it is. All right. So let's just talk about this a little bit. Can I just look at our picks? Unless we just wait. Big board, mock draft. So let's wait, whatever. Steven Angle, we're all good. We're all going to root for whoever Jody drafts. So it is what it is. Yeah, that's true. Obviously, you have your preferences, though, Steven. Thornton runs a 4.28 piece. Just looked pretty damn fast. Yeah, it's a good time. All right, analyzing my draft. Let's see what PFF gives you guys. They give you a grade? No, I do not want to pay for PFF. All right, they gave you guys a B-. I think that's not a terrible grade, honestly. Trayvon Walker, listen, like we were put in a position where you didn't have Thibodeau, you didn't have Hutchinson, you didn't have Sauce. That's a worst case scenario for me. And I think without a trade down, I legitimately think that's probably what the Jets do. I'm not going to love it. You were all going to be praying to God that he reaches his ceiling and be terrified of the floor, in terms of that as a pass rusher. But I think that's realistic. C-. I kind of, at the time of the pick, not much more we could have done. Jameson Williams, B+. I think receiver at 10 is very realistic, especially with edge. If edge goes 4, I think receiver is a pick at 10. If corner goes 4, which would be Sauce, I think edge is probably the pick there. But at 10, it's either Jameson Williams or London for me. So I'm okay with the Williams pick. Swing on the high upside. Muma, I don't see how that's a C. One of the best linebackers in the class and a position of need. Brisker, love the pick at 38, to be completely honest. Kennard, tackle guard. 69, insurance for both of the guards and insurance for our tackles. Good pick. Algier, cool with it. Ruckert, great pick. Ridgeway is apparently an F by them, but you guys voted for it. You guys liked it. Addresses hopefully a need if he is a run stuffer. Bo Melton, speedster. B-. I kind of agree with the grade. B- isn't terrible. This is more grading what you guys did in the process. This draft overall, though, like I much rather see obviously Thibodeau or Hutchinson or Sauce there. So this is my worst case for 4. 10, don't necessarily love it. I'm very, very cool with these guys, though. If you're telling me right now these are your second round picks, cool with it. So I think B- is fair. I'll give it a B-. But I think you guys are put in some tough positions, to be completely honest, with what happened at the top. So I appreciate you guys. That's going to be it. Thanks for sticking around for the mock draft. Again, draft night 1, later in the draft, after the draft, I'll be on. We'll see exactly when my buddies leave and stuff like that. Day 2, I'll be on. Day 3, I'll be on. Next week, Kyle and I talking about the draft, and you guys will be bullshitting with you guys. And then the day before the draft, it'll be myself and Marcus Coleman. Coleman will join a little bit later. And then we'll do a mock draft in terms of like, what do I think the Jets will do? Appreciate you guys as always. And I will see you next week. Make sure to check out the reviews too. The reviews are out there. So subscribe, $5 a month. Watch the full blown reviews. I appreciate that. George, we need more of you. George, we need more of you. Thanks, guys.